What's going on, everybody? Thank you for being here with us tonight on another episode of LTMB Live. Let the madness begin. I'm Will Gaillard.
And I'm Mike White.
Your boy. All right, I'm ready to stop. Psych. All right, thank you for joining us again. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. We're going to let some people fill in.
Oh, more than one person.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this time, right?
This time.
That was our bad last time.
Yeah.
That was our bad. What's up, Facebook? How you doing out there?
What's up?
Out there.
What's up, Taylor? Tay Ray.
So we had another game tonight. You know, they was in the box this time. We had a different ref. They was in the box this time. Kids was in the box. It was not as chaotic.
So at least
it was good.
At least the refs had a slight impact on how these kids played the game.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
This time, it was good. It was good. They weren't like, you know, elbowing each other out of bounds and no calls and nothing like that. It was pretty good. It was pretty good, man. I was happy with it.
You can't just let kids like try to play organized sports and then let it be a free for all. It becomes unorganized.
Exactly. It has to be organized.
I'm telling you, it has to be more. You can't I guess when they get older, they can kind of set them their own limits based on the rules.
Yeah, because they'll be structured themselves.
Exactly. So they have that internal governor when they get older. Yeah. But when they're like
all over the place,
they're all over the place. When it comes to sports, man.
It's crazy, man.
I mean, it's a good little activity to kind of like get them set.
Oh yeah.
In some sort of like disciplinary, I guess, activity. You know what I'm saying? I guess it.
And how to play as a team.
How to play as a team. So yeah.
Even though like when one person has the ball, the other four are right next to him. Like here, give me the ball. Yeah. They have like get some space.
But see, again, their like self awareness is like nowhere near where it should be. You know how kids are.
I know.
You ever see a kid when they like peeking around the corner and they think you can't see them?
Yeah.
Like they think because only their eyes are around the corner, their whole head is not them. Like, yo, I see you, dog.
I remember my.
That's how kids are.
I remember my niece when she was like 2. She was playing hide and seek. Or she was trying to play hide and seek, and she's like, she's gonna go high. I was like, okay. So you gotta come get me. I was like, okay. So I was talking to my mom for a little bit. Like 2 minutes passed by. She's like, oh well, come get me. I was like, okay. I turn around, look in the room. She has a bucket over her head.
See, because she can't see you, that means you can't see her.
I was like, whoa. I've not seen that before.
She thinks that's legit because no self-awareness.
I know, man. She can't see me, so I can't see her.
So now you have to deal with that, stuff like that, but
yeah,
like in sports and sporting kind
running
of
around and stuff.
Yeah,
crazy.
That's crazy, man.
All right, so let's get going. We'll get some more people to join as we keep rolling on. So just some light stories to begin. We talked about the Showtime show, Who is America, on the last program. Actually, we talked about that last week, too. It's the program with Sacha Baron Cohen. And on the latest program, Georgia State Representative Jason Spencer could be seen showing his bare ass on camera, trying to rub it on Sacha Baron Cohen, or who the character that Sacha Baron Cohen was. Sacha Baron Cohen.
Do you remember the name of the character? I can't remember the damn name. It was some crazy name, man.
Amran something. I can't remember. He's like an Israeli like defense specialist, you know, like this ex-military guy or something like that, anti-terrorist specialist or something like that. And but anyway, he was saying the word nigger out loud multiple times. So again, there was a lot of backlash because of that, of course. And just yesterday, I believe, he announced his resignation from the state legislature, as I think was expected to happen. His resignation will take place on July 31st, and that's according to a letter he sent to the Georgia House Speaker, David Ralston. So sad. So sad.
A television show, man.
Got him.
A satirical television show.
Yes.
Got
a prank.
Got a sitting representative.
Yes. Even though he was on the way out anyway, because he did lose his primary in May, so he was going to be on his way out, at the beginning of next year. But still, that's some months left.
That's weird because I mean, like, why not just go ahead and just play the rest of your career out? Or I wouldn't say career, because that doesn't mean his career is over.
Oh, but, it's over. It's over.
But I'm just saying, like, his term, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not play your term out? Like, if you already lost, why not?
Look, I said it last time. You're a sit-in representative, you can't show your ass on camera.
Literally.
Sorry, you
can't show
literally,
your ass.
you can't do that. Can't do it.
So a damn TV show
got him.
got a sitting representative to walk out early.
Yes. But I expected. Republicans were against him on this. So, you like I said, you just can't show your ass in your representative.
And that's the thing. It's not like, you know, he probably could have had any bigoted view he wanted. He could have probably had any, you know, deplorable, any kind of hateful, you know, position. He could have he could have, you know, lived out the rest of his term. Yeah, taking any kind of position, even if it's offensive. But as soon as you show your ass on TV and then make a fool out of the party, then that's when
too far.
That's too far.
You crossed the line.
That's when the strings get pulled. They're like, oh, dang.
But see, this guy already should have been out of Congress because you remember before, not even just concerning the bill that he was talking about pushing that didn't get anywhere. It was like a burqa ban. He wanted to make it illegal for people to not show their face in public. But not even talking about that, he told a former state representative that if she kept talking about removing the Confederate statues and monuments, that she was going to go missing. That was a direct threat.
That was real.
That was
a direct threat to a political opponent, an actual human being. That wasn't a skit.
But that didn't get him ousted.
You see, that's why I was saying at the last show that I still think it's a bit superficial for Republicans and anybody that supported him before to all of a sudden act as concerned trolls to be like, how bad it is. This is awful. I was like, it's only awful because, like,
he showed his ass. That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Everything else you're fine with.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So, former Trump administration aide Omarosa Manigault Newman has a new book coming out, and we've heard about this from Omarosa herself months ago, but now we know that it's due in August. On Thursday, the publisher, Gallery Books, announced that the book will be available for sale on August 14th. And so the book's title is Unhinged, an Insider's Account of the Trump White House. So, of course, this is going to be a critical view of the White House, because ever since she was, ever since she resigned / was let go, fired, or whatever, ever since her exit, she's had nothing but criticism of the White House and of Donald Trump. So I'm sure this book is going to try to like hug the black community.
Of course,
I'm sure of it.
You know what? I can kind of see that happening because when she was on that reality show and those segments where she was talking, she kind of suggested that, you know, she was a bit uneasy with how Trump and the administration,
it's real bad,
you know, talked about and treated black people.
Yeah, all of a sudden you care now.
What's it? Man, you know, I don't know. Like to me, man, whatever. She gonna make money.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
She's gonna make money. So I ain't gonna.
Maybe I'm not that interested. I'm sure we'll, you know, get some highlights of the book. I'm sure, you know, there will be writers talking about it.
And she will be on.
Oh yes, she'll
television.
be on Good Morning America again. Maybe she'll be talking about the
She
book.
might be on CNN. Yeah. She probably might be on Fox too.
Maybe
as a kind of a former employee of Trump.
Maybe something will be unearthed that will be relevant to talk about. I don't know.
It's just probably going to be a book that is designed to essentially elevate herself.
Oh yes, I told
Omarosa Manigault Newman Jenkins Green. Is that what you said her name is?
No, she
Esquire.
Is the real life live, man. The real life live.
Don't you ever.
The bad live.
Okay,
the bad live.
boy.
The bad live, man.
I was about to say.
Some scandal.
I was like, now
the bad one.
Oh, the when she started like turning, like close to the end,
right?
Oh,
right.
That live.
That live, yeah.
Okay, that live. That small part of the show,
like the last season,
she was out her mind.
Out of her mind.
Okay,
that's
okay. I was about to say, all
right. So let's move on. You know, many people have been talking about a headline. You know, a headline that was, I guess it came into the news last last night. Was it last night it came into the news, or was it Wednesday?
It was
Tuesday night.
It was Tuesday.
Was it Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So CNN obtained the tape that the FBI confiscated during a search of former personal attorney of President Donald Trump, Michael Cohen. They confiscated it during a raid of his home and his hotel and his safe deposit box. I believe the FBI confiscated 12 tapes. There are 12 tapes, but one of them was actually released to CNN, and it was played on the broadcast at night, I believe. So this was Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. And so on the tape, you can hear then candidate Donald Trump speaking with Michael Cohen about a payment being made. And presumably this was the payment to former Playboy Playmate Karen McDougal. So we're going to play the tape, or we're going to play that section that is relevant, that, you know, they were discussing this this payment. And then, you know, we'll come back and talk about it.
I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David, you know, so that I'm going to do that right away. I've actually come up and I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with
so what are we going to pay?
Funding. Yes, and it's all the stuff. All the stuff, because, you know, you never know where that company, you never know where he's going to be. Correct. So I'm all over that. And I spoke to Alan about it when it comes time for the financing, which will be.
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So
I'll pay the cash.
No. I got no. Hey, Bill, how are you?
All right. So that tape was provided by Cohen's attorney, who is Lanny Davis, and he provided that to CNN. So the idea is that the National Enquirer, or actually the parent company of the National Enquirer, was going to buy Karen McDougal's story and then publish it. But really what the whole scheme was that Donald Trump, or, you know, his team was getting the National Enquirer to buy it, and so they could sit on it.
Yeah, they're a Trump-friendly paper. Right.
So she was pretty much duped. I mean, she thought she was selling her story and that it would be published, and it wasn't. So Rudy Giuliani, who is on the Trump team right now, the Trump legal team, his personal team, I believe, he has said that neither Trump nor Cohen actually paid to purchase McDougal's story. So this would run into, I guess, contrast to what we hear on this tape. He's still saying the same thing. Giuliani is still saying the same thing, and he believes this actually helps Donald Trump. He's already waived attorney-client privilege as it concerns these tapes. So Donald Trump was not very happy about realizing that Cohen had secretly made an audio tape of him. And on Twitter, he said, "What kind of lawyer would tape a client? So sad. Is this the first? Never heard of it before. Why was the tape so abruptly cut while I was presumably saying positive things? I hear there are other clients and many reporters that are taped. Can this be so? Too bad."
What kind of lawyer would tape his client? Maybe the kind of lawyer that has you as a client. You know what I'm saying? A lawyer that knows that he has to deal with liars and knows, you know, what he gets hired for by those clients. He knows what he gets paid to do. You wouldn't surround yourself with liars without, you know, protecting yourself, would you?
Because he was a fixer. I mean, he's an attorney, but the job that he did for President Trump, or then candidate Trump, was he was a fixer.
Or other people. It's not just Trump. You can't make your living off of one person.
That's correct.
So how he made his living and the type of people that purchase his services, he's well aware of the type of people they are. So why not protect yourself? Again, you know, taping your clients is an action that probably would be done by someone who doesn't trust their clients. Or who has clients that aren't really trustworthy. That's the reason why they're your clients.
Because they're thinking that maybe at some point they may be thrown under the bus. So these low-level cats, like Michael Cohen is, like if you're smart and you're a low-level person, you're going to seek some protection. You're going to do something to protect yourself.
I just think it's funny that like Trump is trying to take the moral high ground here as far as like secretly recording people. Because remember he claimed he taped some of the conversations between him and an FBI director, Comey.
That's correct.
An FBI director. Remember he said that?
He did.
He not only made this claim over and over again, he made some allegations about Comey concerning those tapes. And then when I think it was Congress subpoenaed those tapes, they magically didn't exist anymore.
Magically. So there's been some back and forth about this because, and it's really about what was actually heard on the tape or what wasn't heard on the tape or what was heard on the tape. So really, the two sides, Trump side and I guess Cohen side, they're fighting over a word. They're fighting over the word cash because in the audio you could hear sounds like Trump said cash, right? And it's actually been analyzed. It's been and what is presumed that he said was, so we pay with cash. So Trump's side, though, is saying that that's not what he said. He's saying that he said, don't pay with cash. Me, personally, I don't give a damn about that. I really don't care about that because I care about other things, okay? So I think what this does is prove even more that Trump is a liar. We already knew that for sure, but Trump is a liar. So if he's communicating with his personal attorney, his fixer, Michael Cohen, about this tape, or about this payment, about Karen McDougal, well, then it seems like he does know what's going on with Karen McDougal, and he understands that Karen McDougal says that she had an affair with him that last, I think, was like 10 months long. Why would you have to pay her off if there's nothing to the story? Why would you have to create some corporation, some company to funnel the money through?
So it's not about him just being a liar. It's like he's the type of person, like, hey, he co-signed the act of money laundering, essentially, because Cohen in the tape mentions like starting some sort of front business or a go-through business. That was kind of clear. So would the type of person who would advocate and co-sign that, the laundering of money to cover up a misdeed, be the type of person that is going to act as an honest civil servant? So it's not about the lie, it's about what this type of lie indicates about him and how he most likely is going to approach his politics. And the funny thing about Giuliani talking about, oh, he was trying to get it done on the up and up. That's what Giuliani said. I was like, wait a second. You want credit for trying to cover up a misdeed. You want to do it on the up and up.
That's like this whole situation is not on the up and up.
Like, exactly. The whole situation is not on the up and up. And like, Trump is, a little upset because he had said some positive things and that got cut off. Like, what positive things could you say that would have an impact on the rest of the circumstance? Like, what positive things that did you say? McDougal was good in the sack? Like,
I don't know, man. I was presumably saying positive things, but it got cut off. Like Mike said, man, the whole thing is not on the up and up, so I don't understand what Giuliani's rhetoric is supposed to mean. But anyway, so Judge Andrew Napolitano, who is a frequent contributor on Fox News, he said that there was no indication of any crime that can be heard on the tape, but he did say that there was an indication of fraud. But because McDougal believed her story was going to be published by the what was the publication again? Was it the Sun? No,
it was a subsidiary of National Enquirer.
No, yeah, but no, it was the National, a fraudulent campaign to dupe her, so that her story would never get out. They were going to buy the rights to her story and then sit on it, and that's exactly what happened. Well, Giuliani's saying that no money came from Cohen or Trump, but somehow, the story got sat on anyway. So I'm assuming some money came from somewhere. If it wasn't from Trump or Cohen, this makes no sense. But anyway, Napolitano said that there was no evidence of a crime, again, but that there was fraud. And if there was fraud, then that penetrates the attorney-client privilege. So it doesn't mean, whatever, if it's a criminal case or if it's a civil fraud case, does not matter. This penetrates attorney-client, the attorney-client privilege, and so anybody can use that against Donald Trump.
Mueller can use it.
Mueller can use it. Anybody
can use it. And the thing is, just to me, that's just strikes of desperation on Cohen's part. Right. What it might indicate is that Mueller doesn't need Cohen, and he has everything he needs on Trump. And maybe this is some sort of cry for help from Cohen to Trump and saying, look, man, you got to get me out of this somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Because it looks like Cohen's on the other side now.
It looks like Cohen's.
You remember Cohen was talking about he would take a bullet for Donald Trump?
He would take a bullet. So it's like if he's going to these lengths, that means one, he might not have flipped, and two, Mueller doesn't need him. He already has everything. So Cohen is probably desperate right now. You know what I'm saying? So
this is some other words from Andrew Napolitano on Fox News.
Were laws broken here? Campaign finance laws? Was anything here done that was illegal?
That is an analysis for Mueller to make. If the purpose of this was to help the campaign finance laws were broken. But that, too, is not a crime. It's a violation of a statute, but it's not a criminal statute.
Does that mean Giuliani's right in his defense so far?
Giuliani is correct in that there is no criminal violation. He is incorrect by not addressing the fact that this is a fraud, because he knows that crimes and fraud both vitiate the attorney-client privilege.
There are 12 audio tapes, I do believe, that apparently Cohen gave to the feds.
God only knows what else is in there.
Yo,
that last part.
When I first heard that, man, I almost fell out.
Because you know what kind of shit he's talking about.
Almost fell out, man.
But this is one of those things that a lot of people might consider like drama or distraction. If it wasn't the president, if it wasn't the sitting president of the United States, I would say yes.
Yeah, it wouldn't be much of an issue.
It wouldn't be much of an issue. But to me, like, it's not just about us and whether we're talking about it. If you're going to call something a distraction, who is it a distraction for? I think the main person that issues like this are a distraction for is the president, because what he has done is he's, I guess, tracked his business activities into the White House. And so kind of he was going to be more focused on defending himself rather than leadership. Now, I don't think he was going to do that anyway, but I think this kind of makes it harder for him. All these issues he's tracked into the White House is going to definitely, I guess, shape how he goes about his agenda. So it's a distraction for him, and I think that's why it's important.
He, like you were saying, if this was just Donald Trump that lost the 2016 presidential election in 2018, nobody would be really focusing on this. It would be an issue for him. This still might be a legal case, but it wouldn't be an issue for anybody else. Nobody would really be paying attention to this. Now, we also have to clear up that, I don't think on this program we have ever called for an impeachment of Donald Trump. We have never even. I don't even know if we've actually even talked about impeaching Donald Trump.
No.
So I'm not even like I wasn't even considering this story in a way that this is a criminal case. Oh, we got him. I'm not considering that. Like, what this just proves to me is that once again, there's more evidence that states clearly that Donald Trump is a liar, and it's not just this issue that he's a liar on. It's a whole bunch of issues. So that's just, I guess, indicative of his character. Now, the whole thing that Napolitano was talking about, that it's not a criminal case, it's a civil case, and it is a violation because if the Mueller investigation, if Robert Mueller does determine that this was a campaign contribution, it was done to help his campaign, then yes, it is a violation. Is it an impeachable violation? I don't believe it is, but it is a violation. And again, the biggest point that this is to me, the biggest thing about this is to me is that Trump lies consistently about many things, and he's lied about this many, many times. When are even his supporters just gonna finally own up to it? When are you gonna own up to it?
I know. I think there's a concern that his baggage, or if you want to call it that, I guess his political agenda is going to be driven by self-preservation, and to me that's very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? When your personal baggage is, or your personal political agenda is going to be driven by the baggage you carry, and you know what I'm saying, because you don't know why he's taking a position on something. We really won't know why.
That's true, because he lies all the time. And again, the you know, he cheated on his wife. I could give a damn. I don't care about that. So I mean, like, you do you. You know, that's for your wife to handle that. That's, you know, that's for your family. Fine. I mean, that's on you. But it's that, one, you lied about it, and two, you funneled a payment to the person that you had an affair with because you didn't want it to affect you during the 2016 presidential election. Now, again, it's a violation, and it's just becoming more and more clear.
To me, that sounds very swampish to me. Like using your power and influence to pay someone off, to shut them up so you can kind of maintain some sort of your reputation in a way. You see what I'm saying? That seems very swampy to me.
So when he was talking about drain the swamp, he was actually the first member of the new swamp that was coming in.
That's what it seems like to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the whole idea of him not being a part of the political establishment kind of, to me, falls upon deaf ears. And my ears are deaf to that kind of narrative too. Because all that doesn't matter. You just kind of have to base your opinion and your on your idea on Trump based on what we can observably see. And for the most part, what we see from him is kind of the same I guess level of callousness, the same level of, I would say, abusing your power, using your power and your privilege to try to cover things up for your own benefit. I don't understand how that...
Swampy.
Exactly. I don't understand how behavior like that somehow puts him outside of a Washington mindset.
That puts him outside of the political establishment in some way. Some way he's not actually a political insider. He's not part of the elite. He's not part of the same old, same old. Okay. All right. Moving on. On Wednesday, a federal judge allowed a lawsuit concerning President Trump's business dealings with foreign governments to proceed. The plaintiffs alleged that Trump is violating the Constitution's emoluments clause, or emoluments clauses. In the ruling, U.S. District Judge Peter J. Messett in Greenbelt, Maryland, rejected Trump's latest effort to squash the lawsuit by saying the case had merit concerning any business transactions with foreign governments that Trump received, quote, a profit, gain, or an advantage. Messett wrote, or Judge Messett wrote, this includes profits from private transactions, even those involving services given at fair market value. So the Constitution bars federal officials from taking emoluments from any, quote, king, prince, or foreign state. So this is really, and the case that is being considered right now in Maryland, it's actually been narrowed, or the scope has been narrowed to just his hotel in Washington, Trump's hotel in Washington. And I believe, he's had certain foreign officials at these hotels, delegates at these hotels, foreign nationals. So what the plaintiffs are, what the plaintiffs are arguing is that he's essentially taking a bribe, or he could possibly be taking a bribe from foreign countries or foreign nationals, foreign governments, through his business.
Yeah, definition of emolument is like anything that like provides profit or comfort to someone else.
It's like a pay, a salary, a fee, something like that. So he has these business interests who he has not given up these business interests. He still owns all these different companies, owns all these different properties.
I mean, it's to like prevent like favor being showed for some sort of generous action. Like if a delegation, and it's like if a delegation, let's say, like comes to visit, and then they stay at the Trump hotel. What that does, it gives the impression that maybe they're trying to gift something. It gives the impression that maybe they're trying to get a favorable position, like maybe in some like diplomatic talks. The whole emoluments kind of concept is supposed to eliminate even the appearance of bribes.
And it's not that you have to prove the bribe. it shouldn't be allowed because of the appearance.
The appearance of it, because most likely if it looks like it, it most likely is it. Because if you didn't want to give that impression or give the appearance that it's a bribe, you would go out of your way to say, nah, go stay over there. You know, it's the kind of thing, the same thing with Mar-a-Lago,
right,
where people were paying to come there, diplomats, and they were paying to come there. Like, you would go out of your way to say, hey, meet at another golf resort. Let's have a meeting somewhere else if you weren't in it for the profit. Because if you weren't in it for the profit and you were actually looking to deal with something objectively, you would go out of your way to be like, you know what, nah, I don't want to give the appearance that maybe I'm going to give you kind of a favorable, a favorable, like,
decision or something like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And this really hasn't been an issue for past presidents, because on the advice of counsel, they have, removed themselves from any businesses that they've had because of the perception of bribery. Bribery might be taking place, what have you. So Trump feels like he doesn't need to, because his position is that and the DOJ. So the DOJ and the Trump organization has been urging this judge Messett to throw out the case, and they say because the clause was written to stop officials from taking bribes, but not to stop them from conducting business. But see, this is the issue. Bribes come in all shapes and forms, you know? It doesn't just come in like a cash gift. It doesn't come in like some products like a fur or something like that, some jewels, some rings. So if these foreign governments are coming to stay at his property, couldn't they stay at another property? But they're making him money, right? They're making him money by staying at his property. So it doesn't, like, he is profiting off of them, and they could say, hey, I'm gonna come and stay at your hotel, and then you're gonna do this for me. It doesn't have to be actually like I'm gonna write you a check or I'm gonna give you a gift or anything like that. It can come in the form of just a simple business transaction.
Actually, it's not even just about the profit motive behind it. It's kind of like the influential motive behind it, because if Trump has some trademarks in a particular country, like he does in China, and I'll mention that he got some trademarks approved when he became president that China previously denied. So China could actually pull his collar on certain things based on his trademarks being over there. You see what I'm saying? That would be a threat. That would be a threat to my livelihood and my well-being if my trademarks can be affected. Like, I'm more likely going to, treat a certain country a certain way, or advise my White House to treat a country a certain way based on trademarks I have over there, because I have a business interest over there. And not just him. Who else has trademarks over there? Let's say I said China. Who else has trademarks over in China?
Talking about his kids?
Oh, yeah. Ivanka. She just got it. She got it, I guess, some last year. So I don't understand how people don't see it as a problem. This is what you get when you elect a businessman into office
that doesn't want to remove that businessman label from himself,
and not a statesman. Now, I guess you would say most of the statesmen, quote statesmen we do have now, are corrupt and bought and paid for. I understand that, but see, Trump is not putting much effort to even looking like a statesman.
No, he's
like,
not.
you know what I'm saying? He's just going in straight in for the business aspect of it. And now he's like treating the White House as like the new home office for his corporation.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
This is 1 + 1 = 2. If you are the president of the United States, of course you are looked at as the leader of the free world. You're definitely the top politician, the top official in the United States of America. If you have a business, it really doesn't matter what kind of business it is. Let's say you sell vacuum cleaners. Anybody, if they want a favorable decision from you, they can go right through your company. Let's say you have a surge in business. Isn't it going to look kind of funny? Isn't it going to have a bad look? Is it going to look inappropriate if like foreign nationals, foreign governments are actually going through your business? It's like,
And it's
that's why you remove that from yourself, because you don't want to. You don't want it to have the appearances of being a bribe,
and you don't even, I guess, want to give others an opportunity to use it against you as well.
Right.
Because that means it's not actually an asset to you now. Your business doesn't become an asset. It actually becomes a liability.
No doubt. No doubt. And so the judge, he wrote also, he said, in some plaintiffs have plausibly alleged that the president has been receiving or is potentially able to receive emoluments in violation of the Constitution. So now the plaintiffs want to interview the Trump organization employees, search company records to determine which companies have spent money at Trump's hotel in downtown Washington and how much money they spent. They may also seek to have a look at Trump's tax returns. You know, President Trump has not released his tax returns, which is not common practice. Every president since, I don't even know when, I mean, it's been decades since a president did not release his tax returns, but somehow Trump has been able to get away with that, and even nobody's talking about it anymore, really. But this may be a way that, somebody actually can take a look at it. So whatever he's hiding may not be hidden very much longer.
So are you saying that, like, someone who, goes out of their way not to release their taxes, goes out of their way to, I guess, pay off strippers and porn stars and Playboy models, goes out of their way to do that to keep his reputation intact? So a person who does all those things, or let's even add a few more things, a person whose casino was bestowed a government fine for not financially disclosing certain transactions, or Trump University, who had to pay a settlement for fraud. So you're saying somebody like that, it's safe to say that they're probably don't care about the emoluments clause, and it's safe to say that they're fine with violating that clause.
Because think about this, okay? Just very simply think about this. Again, this really has, I don't think this has really been challenged before. So President Trump really believes that he can get away with doing whatever the hell he wants to, because there's not really a precedent. So it would take like a significant challenge. It would take somebody actually just making history and opposing him and actually getting a ruling against him. So I don't know that these plaintiffs are actually going to be able to get it done or not. We don't know, but the case is being allowed to proceed. So just in that regard, it's bad look for Trump. It's bad news for Trump. So again, this is just another case of a businessman. If you want to be a businessman and run for president, fine. But if you want to be a businessman and a president at the same time,
and that's actually, and this actually shows his desperation too. Like, why are you so anxious to kind of profit off to the position immediately when it is a pure fact? I mean, it's a pure fact. I don't care like how good or bad of a president you are, you will make money.
No doubt.
After your term is up, whether it be 4 or 8 years.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's how I always thought about it. I was like, man, like Trump has made it as far as a businessman. It doesn't matter what he does or doesn't do.
He's going to write a book.
If he's going to write a book, or no, somebody's going to ghostwrite it. So I was like if he is not pushed out through some sort of impeachment or him stepping down, he makes it through either 4 or 8 years. I was like, yo, he's made it now. Like whatever, hole he finds himself in, if he he's in the red because he, no bank will finance him because of his bankruptcies. I'm saying, man, he can get out of that financial hole and finally get out of the red and get out from under all those people that has him tied down with that debt. So I'm like, man, after his 4 years, he can be good.
No doubt.
No doubt. I was like, that's how I always saw it. I'm like, he can give up any kind of business ties he has right now in order to come out at the end better. But
so just like you said, why are you rushing?
So why, right? No pun intended.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Why are you rushing?
Exactly. All right, so we're going to leave it right there for Facebook. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We have the link in the description box so that you can go to the YouTube platform and see the rest of the show. We have lots more to talk about, so we'll be happy if you join us, okay? So thank you, and we'll see you over there in just a minute. Sometime soon we will be able to stop doing this and just do it through one single easy streamless source.
But see, then the YouTube folks ain't gonna feel special no more.
Well, no, we're still gonna cut them off. We're just gonna be able to do it click like that instead of because the Facebook feed isn't even like high quality because it's just using
through
the webcam.
Using the onboard cam of a laptop.
Yeah, so we can and then they can be able to see the graphics that we have, the videos that we have. Still, we're only gonna go 30, 45 minutes, but still, you can see it for a little bit. All right, let's go to Rosenstein. Where do I got that? Okay, here we go. Got anything going? All right.
Yeah, I don't really see anything jumping out at me in the chat right now. Just people talking back and forth.
Breaking news.
Oh, you mean Moose Gal, Miss Breaking News herself?
Yeah. Wait, that's not actually breaking news, Moose Gal. He said that weeks ago, actually, and we heard him in Missouri talking about that. That's the new campaign slogan for 2020 when he runs for re-election.
See, well, the whole idea is I get elected and I get America great.
Yeah.
And then 2020 America is great, and then we keep America great. The next campaign is keep America great.
Yeah, just like that too.
I'm like, though, why you got poking lips out there?
Just like that.
Freaking, he's like duck face extraordinaire.
All right, so let's get to it. A group of 11 Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives filed articles of impeachment against Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Rosenstein has been overseeing the Mueller investigation, and these conservative lawmakers said the call for impeachment is, quote, the result of nearly 9 months of unsuccessful congressional attempts to force the Department of Justice to comply with oversight requests. So in a statement, Representative Jim Jordan said, the DOJ is keeping information from Congress. Enough is enough. It's time to hold Mr. Rosenstein accountable for blocking Congress's constitutional oversight role. Representative Mark Meadows also said in a statement, it's time to find a new Deputy Attorney General who is serious about accountability and transparency.
I sense panic. That's what I sense. I sense panic. I guess the combination, I can't, it's hard to like narrow it down because it's probably been building up. So I don't want to narrow it down to one thing, but like as everything is built up to, let's say the Helsinki joint press conference,
right,
and then like the release of the Cohen tape, I think those two things are, I guess, the straw that broke the obstructionist camel's back.
Yeah. You know
what I'm saying?
Probably so.
They probably wrote that thing like, because they released this on Wednesday?
Yes.
They probably wrote that thing Tuesday night. They wrote that thing Tuesday night, man. But like, I think the people that are the most suspicious are the people that protest too much.
Doth protest
too much, methinks. Yes.
Yeah, probably so. But actually, this is nothing new. Actually, we've seen that certain members of the House, conservative members, Republican members of the House, have had nothing but horrible things, nothing but critical things to say about the Mueller investigation. They've talked about Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI. They've talked about Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General. They've talked about several or a few different FBI agents. But look, they're just trying to shut down this investigation as quick and fast and in a hurry as they can.
Are you saying that they don't care about justice?
I don't think so.
You don't think this move is a matter of justice?
I don't think so. But again, this is nothing new. As the HuffPost writes, a group of conservative House members, spearheaded by Meadows, drafted impeachment papers against Rosenstein in April, calling it, quote, a last resort option if the Department of Justice fails to respond to congressional requests for documents pertaining to the Russia investigation and another federal inquiry into former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server. So again, this is nothing new. Now, so Congress has a right to oversee the investigation. Congress has a right to request certain documents. But there is a but. This is an open investigation. Okay, this is an open federal investigation. So they're not going to be able to see everything in an open investigation because, as we see all the time, Congress members talk to the media. And Congress members talk to President Trump and President Trump's staff, his administration, all the time. So if there is something in this investigation that maybe will implicate somebody in the Trump administration or maybe somebody else somewhere, they don't want that information to get out before they're finished with their investigation and they're finished maybe questioning somebody, whatever the case.
Are you saying that they already know that there are certain things that the DOJ can't hand over, and it's kind of like just saying that as a way to act as if it's the DOJ that is not being forthcoming? Because if the DOJ was actually not forthcoming, or the FBI, and both FBI and DOJ was not forthcoming with information and the request for information, then they would not know about Strzok and Page.
That's right.
They also wouldn't have had an opportunity to disclose that cherry-picked memo. They would not have had that opportunity if the DOJ did not comply with their request. But I think they're counting on the public not knowing that they don't have unconditional access to information as far as an investigation. They do not. There is certain information that is exempt from members of Congress. You can go on the Department of Justice's website and look up the impact of the Murphy Clause or impact of a Murphy decision of 1980. You can go look that up for yourself, and it's very long, and it explains what information is exempt from members of Congress, and it explains the provisions behind all of those exemptions. Like, it's long, so you can go look it up, and I'm pretty sure they're aware of it too. They're just hoping that the public is not aware of it.
They're counting on the public to be stupid and ignorant. Yeah. So where is this going? Nowhere. It's not going anywhere. To be impeached, it's a high bar that you must eclipse, and that high bar has to do something with treason, bribery, high crimes, and misdemeanors. These conservative members of the House, essentially, they're saying that Rod Rosenstein is stonewalling members of Congress. They're not complying with our request for information. That is not an impeachable offense. So you may say that again, that there's like Rosenstein and the DOJ, the FBI is stonewalling you. Not impeachable. You may say that there are some ethical concerns because I believe the House members or the conservative House members are saying that Rod Rosenstein should have recused himself because he could potentially be called as a witness. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but there is some talk about that he has something to do with this and he could be called as a witness, so he should have recused himself. Again, that would be an ethical concern. That's not an impeachable offense.
You know what? You just mentioned the word recuse. That kind of like, I wasn't even thinking about this because this person really has been out of the news for a long time.
Yes.
And that is Jeffrey Beauregard.
That's right.
Sessions. Now, they expected to have their own political jockey controlling the direction of a horse. That failed because Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions had to recuse himself. Why did he have to recuse himself?
Had something to do with Russia.
Had something to do with him lying about taking a visit to some other country. Yeah. Now, whether that visit actually meant something, that's not the point. I think most members of government understand even the appearance of something. Oh man, I gotta I got to step down. I got to take an L. I got to take one for the team.
Right.
So I think they expected Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions to be that political jockey.
Right. And not step down.
But
he did.
He did.
And so now you're stuck with Rosenstein.
Now you're stuck with Rosenstein, somebody who just wants to see justice take his court. He's followed the law and he hasn't broken the law. And also, it's important to note he's a lifelong Republican and he's appointed by Trump. So these people don't care. These people do not care. They seem to be for, I don't know, just like protecting Trump. I don't know what kind of dog they have in the fight. I don't know. Like, why are you trying to protect this dude so hard? It makes me think you have a dog in the fight. I just don't understand that. Like, if it leads to Trump, some improprieties on his part, why are you so bent out of shape about that? Unless, you know,
wouldn't you want to be on the side of justice?
Be on the side of, you know what I'm saying?
So anyway, fortunately, other Congress members have remained silent about this. They haven't really involved themselves in the argument of impeachment or, contempt proceedings or anything like that. So I think, as expected, on Thursday, Representative Mark Meadows, who is one of these 11 members, conservative members of Congress that was calling for the impeachment of Rosenstein, he backpedaled. Started backpedaling.
That was quick.
Yeah, just took a day. And now he's saying that he's gonna, kind of leave impeachment. It's still possible, but that's not really what he's gonna be seeking. Now he's gonna be seeking to go forward with contempt if they don't get what they need. So, again, this was never going to go anywhere anyways, because I did see Speaker of the House Paul Ryan. He did address it, and he says that he does not support impeachment for Rod Rosenstein. So it's just like I said, you have to eclipse a pretty high bar, and nothing that Rosenstein has done or possibly done eclipse that bar.
Okay, Vince here. Vince here. I think there's only one person with that first name. I'm not going to pronounce the last name to that. I guess that username. It says, is it justice or selective prosecution? How about this? Like, I understand, like, in the world we live in now, even justice is sometimes controlled. No matter what happens, no matter what corruption is, uncovered in some way, like, all bad guys most likely don't go down. So even justice, in a sense, is controlled in some cases. Now, what you're suggesting is, just even putting forth that question, is that since everybody is not going down, then an investigation is not just. Since everybody is not being investigated, it's not just. But I think to even, ask that question, you would have to see exactly what these individuals in this case are being, indicted for or prosecuted for. I think that's important too, because I don't think there's a lot of people who start 50 businesses to launder money through that are being ignored. If you can show me somebody who lobbied for foreign governments and started 30 or 40 or 50 businesses to launder money through, who the DOJ and FBI has let go free, please show me. Please show me. If you can show me people who have lied to the FBI, who the FBI voluntarily let go free, please show me. If you have seen anyone who is guilty of any of the things that the Mueller investigation has uncovered with these individuals, please show me. I think the question at heart points to this zero-sum game, like all or nothing type of mentality that leads us back to a stalemate. As you're saying, since there are other corrupt people, since there may be other people who have committed crimes, this investigation is not just. And I think if you're taking that position, then guess what? Nobody is prosecutable. No one. No one.
Last thing I'll say on this is, or actually it's a question. Why the hell are these Republicans still talking about Hillary Clinton and her use of a private email server? Now, look, we understand that Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server was inappropriate. It was improper. But the question is, was it criminal? Now, going back to 2016, we had many critical things to say about it once we understood exactly what happened, because at first I think everybody was thinking that it was just a private email account. Then we got more information. It was like, damn, hold up. This woman had it at her home, away from the State Department. You know, she had it locked up. You know, it was being serviced by some private company. You know, it wasn't going through the State Department. So I mean, there was nothing but it was nothing but improper. There was nothing but, I won't say illegal actions, but improper actions. Now, the FBI investigated it. And again, we were critical of James Comey, the then director of the FBI, when he came out and said, yeah, you know, what she did was inappropriate and improper and she should have known better and she was sloppy, blah, blah, blah. We were critical of him because he said all of these things that she should have known and she shouldn't have done this. And she had the knowledge to not do it, but she still did it. But let her off and, you know, there was no penalty whatsoever. And then at the end, he was saying that if anybody else did it, there would be some type of penalty. So that's where we were like, man, like, you know, so if your name isn't Hillary Clinton, then damn, there's going to be penalty. Now, again, criminal penalty? Or would it be something like the loss of your security clearances, or that you couldn't get security clearances? Like, we have no idea. I still don't know that it was a criminal offense.
Because they have to determine, like, was she doing something illegal while doing that? Right. Like, she was doing something improper, yes, and actually Comey pointed that out. Yes. But they couldn't prove whether there was, like, criminal activity that was occurring through her improper use of a server. Those are two different things. Like, you can call her out for improper use of a server, and you can say, man, she probably was up to something. I'm just gonna, even if she wasn't up to something, which is something we don't even know, just by what we understand about Hillary Clinton and who she is, I just went out on a limb and said, you know what, she probably was doing some bullshit.
She probably was.
She probably was doing some bullshit.
But you have to prove it.
You have to have proof. Yeah. And like, I don't like this what if mentality, because that's just a bad response, Vincier. You're saying, like, what if an investigation was started without cause and without proper evidence? Look, you can't come to a conclusion, or you can't, I guess, make assertions about anything or topic by what ifs, because what ifs are endless. What if unicorn horns taste like granola bars? I don't know. I can put any what if in there. That is not how we formulate analysis based on what ifs, because what ifs are endless. You just go for what you know. And if the government wants to use their full weight to determine whether I started 30 businesses to launder money through, and they want to use the full weight of that, and they find that I did that, I don't have anything to stand on. Whether there's other criminals out there that the government is not going after is irrelevant. I guarantee you, if the full weight of the government came down on little old me right now, they wouldn't find shit. And definitely wouldn't find nowhere near the amount of shit they've already found when it comes to Flynn, Mueller, Page, Papadopoulos, Alex Van Swan, or whatever. All these people, they wouldn't find any of that on me. They wouldn't find anything. Now, yes, they can create something. That's different. But you have to show me that these things are created. If you can't show me that these crimes are created, you have, like, no case. It doesn't matter what other crimes are not being prosecuted. Come on now.
All right, so let's move on. Let's go to Turkey. All right, so in May, President Trump withdrew the United States from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or as commonly called, the Iran deal. So it was negotiated under former President Barack Obama and several other countries like Russia, China, France, Germany, the UK, plus the European Union. So in announcing the withdrawal, President Trump also indicated that the U.S. was going to implement the highest level of economic sanctions on Iran, presumably until he got the deal that he approved of with Iran. So Turkey does not plan to abide by those sanctions. Turkey's foreign minister, Mevlut Cavusoglu, he said on Tuesday that Turkey depends on imports for almost all of its... No, that's from Reuters, my bad. So anyway, on Tuesday, Cavusoglu said, we do not have to adhere to the sanctions imposed on a country by another country. We don't find the sanctions right here either. He also said, we held meetings with the United States in Ankara and told them openly, Turkey gets oil and gas from Azerbaijan, Iran, Russia, and Iraq. If I don't buy from Iran now, where am I supposed to meet that need from?
You know what? To me, it's like, I guess he's approaching it from the angle of, I guess, the necessity of resources. Mm-hmm. I wasn't even approaching it from that angle. I was more or less approaching it from the angle of proximity, I guess, to conflict. No different than, let's say, South Korea or Japan or China, where they have more of an interest in diplomatically and objectively looking at other countries more so than we do, I guess, in regard to hurling like I guess boastful threats in their direction. Turkey is right there. Mm-hmm. So they have a more kind of a survival instinct in regards to the Iran deal. Like, why would you want to, I guess, compromise something like that, an Iran deal, when there are other countries that face more of, I wouldn't say a threat, but other countries that have more at stake because they're right there. They're in close proximity to that. Why would you want to constantly poke a bear that some other country is next to when you way over here, when you way over there?
Turkey is a sovereign country, okay? They can do exactly whatever the hell they want to. Now, members of the international community, these advanced nations, usually... Yeah, I said most of the time they do adhere to sanctions that are adopted by, the United States or another power, the UK, China, whatever, right? But in this case, like Mike said, Turkey's right there, and that's where they're getting their oil from. So for them to adhere to sanctions that they don't even agree with, it would be like, why the hell am I doing this? Just because the U.S. is the U.S. and they're the big bad boys in town, they always have been? Nah. And another thing is, now, Turkey was not one of the countries that were in on this negotiation. They're not one of the, powers that were involved in crafting this agreement with Iran. But think about the other countries that were involved: Russia, China, France, the UK, Germany, the European Union. All of them have said, no, we like the Iran deal. We're staying with the Iran deal. All of them have had something critical to say about Donald Trump removing the United States from the Iran deal. So why in the hell would Turkey be like, you know what? The United States, they implemented sanctions.
So what are the chances?
Gotta bow to their wishes.
What are the chances that they're all wrong and we're right? Or Donald Trump and this administration is right? I don't want to say weird because everybody... It's I think for the most part there is a consistency even with Republicans because they've laid off. Even they have kind of like taken a back seat in regard to this Iran deal.
But see, it's not like think about what you said. Like, what's the chances of like Trump being right and everybody else being wrong? Right?
Everybody.
Now, think about this. I don't believe Trump has even said that Iran is wrong. He doesn't like the deal. The deal...
It's not fair.
It's not fair. The deal's not fair, but they were complying with the terms of the agreement. They never failed any inspection or anything like that. They were letting investigators in. They never failed any inspection. Every country that has a part of this deal has said the terms of the agreement are being met. There's no reason to remove or to rip up the deal whatsoever. But Trump can't stand the fact that it was negotiated under former President Barack Obama, and he wants to remove the United States from anything that involves former President Barack Obama. He doesn't have a leg to stand on. So these other countries, of course they understand that, and they see that this agreement was being complied with. Why the hell am I just going to comply with the United States' irrational position?
I think something we talked about earlier in the show, and that was a segment we did on the emoluments clause, and how there's a concern there that maybe Trump's own business baggage and that attitude is he's carrying into the White House and kind of using the White House as a platform, or I guess like a marketplace, to advance his own business needs. Well, you mentioned the Iran deal, and as it has to do with Obama's legacy, right?
Yep.
Well, we already know that kind of Trump is very, I don't know, egotistical. We already know that he holds grudges and he does things in spite of people, and he's a very immature person. So if his business deals have a high likelihood of influencing his political agenda, why wouldn't his ego? Why wouldn't his vendetta against certain people?
Right.
Why, you know what I'm saying? Like that's really all it looks like, because it's not like based on anything merit, anything with merit.
He shows himself to be weak, really, continuously.
That's the thing. He looks like he wants to give this appearance that he's being strong, but he's actually being weak, because what is his disposition towards the Iran deal have to do with? Just because he wants to, like, I guess, undo something Obama did? Right. That's why you don't have this type of president in office, because essentially he's being driven by a very immature, like, personal problem, really.
Right.
And essentially he's not taking into account the needs of the other countries. He's not even thinking about that.
Our country,
well,
too.
yeah, that too.
There is that.
There is that.
There is that. But Trump, I forgot where I was going to go with it. I forget it. I forgot where I was going to go with it. But, I got it. We understand that Republicans, at the time of this crafting this agreement with Iran and the other world powers, we understand that there were very many Republicans that were against this deal, the Iran deal. Now, did they have some legitimacy to their argument? They may have. Was it just to be against President Barack Obama? We're sure of that as well. But even those particular Republican members of Congress, even they are saying at this point, before Donald Trump withdrew the United States, they're saying there's no reason to do it. It's working. Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. They're not going to get a nuclear weapon under this deal. So there was no reason to rip up the deal. And like I said, I just think that other countries obviously know that, because you can't point to a time where Iran failed an inspection or they were, guilty of any violation.
Wait a second. Looks like we have an official international inspector in our comment section that disputes what you are saying, Sir William.
Right? Is that right?
Sir William Esquire.
Has he been to Tehran?
Sir William Gaillard Esquire.
He's been to Tehran?
Apparently so. Not only has he been to Tehran, he works with the IRS. He works with the IRS, and he has divulged to us and those in our comment section, informed us that it was our tax dollars that went
to go
such a Iran.
Oh, that's such
for that payment.
Oh, that's a dirty lie, too.
No, hey, man, don't dismiss it. Don't dismiss it, man.
No.
I mean, that's some new stuff I ain't heard yet.
No, we heard
that's some dog.
We heard that 3 years ago.
New stuff I haven't heard yet. Man.
We heard that 3 years ago.
Well,
whose money was it? Whose money was it, Mike? It went, the money that went to Iran, because it was a lot.
How many chances do I get to answer?
Man, I'm only gonna give you one. I'm only gonna give you one, man. All right, there you go. You ain't gonna get the whole song.
See, man, that's messed up, dog.
You can't get the whole song, man. We on clock.
Iran.
Yeah. You got it on the first try. It was Iran's own money that was routed right back to them, because, again, there were economic sanctions. So that money was being held.
And like Tara Brate said, it was basically being impounded. Man, I like that word, man.
Yep, impounded.
I really like that word.
That's right. Confiscated.
I know.
Whatever. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, for real, man. I gotta give credit where credit's due. I've disagreed with Tara Brate on some things before, but man, that's a very accurate word to use.
Yep. All right. Let's be done with that one. All right. Let's do Medicare for all, man. Let's do that one.
Or Medicare for none.
Yeah, Medicare for none. Yeah.
Medicare for none.
This is great. Yeah, this one is pretty funny to me. All right, so The idea of Medicare for all has been gaining traction ever since Bernie Sanders was campaigning for president in 2016. Since then, dozens of current Democratic Congress members have begun supporting it. They've been supporting single-payer health care. Many Democratic candidates have made the issue an integral part of their platform and of their candidacy. Senators Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, Kirsten Gillibrand, they're all viewed as leading candidates to receive the nomination, the Democratic nomination in 2020 for president of the United States. And they all now support the idea, even though I don't know that they supported it in 2016. And even last week, a group of over 60 House Democrats founded a new caucus called the Medicare for All Caucus. So again, this idea is definitely on the rise. So on Wednesday, the administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, said that Medicare for All would be a bad deal. Seema Verma, who was nominated by President Trump, said in a speech at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco that adopting a single-payer health insurance system would negatively impact the health care of seniors. Verma also said that this would occur because by expanding Medicare coverage to include younger people, it would drain the program of funding, which would mean that the seniors that so desperately need this health coverage wouldn't be receiving it.
Okay. Oh man, knowing that this is a Trump official, I won't assume one of the either or both. I'm not going to assume she doesn't know what she's talking about, because that could be actually true. But I'm just going to assume she's just trying to misinform people, because you cannot actually look at this issue and I guess objectively see what this Medicare for all program that they are proposing will do negatively.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't actually say that without looking at the facts behind it. It's definitely not some sort of transfer. You're not transferring care away from other people, and it's an expansion. It's not like they're going to funnel more people into the same existing program as it's being funded currently. That's kind of the idea she's trying to put across. I mean, under the Medicare for All national healthcare system, the funds, or the majority of funds, are going to come from eliminating current government programs like TRICARE, CHIP, government employee insurance, current Medicare, current Medicaid, current ACA. That's where the majority of the cost saving is going to come from. Also, the elimination of what is going to happen? The elimination of the healthcare industry.
No doubt.
That's where the majority of the overhead costs is associated, is with
the middleman.
The middleman.
Yes.
And it's elimination of the health insurance industry, not the elimination of providers.
No, not doctors, not nurse practitioners.
That's what she's trying to make it
right.
Is the government's going to be doing all? It's those people are not going anywhere.
Right. And
for the most part, healthcare providers actually agree with Medicare for all. They even agree with the ACA, even with its loopholes. Yeah. But they understood that it could be better. But most medical care providers agree that our system needs to be reinvented, needs to be overhauled to a system that gives more people access.
Right, because of course they want their patients to be as healthy as possible. She is promoting a fallacy just to rub dirt on the whole idea of a single-payer health plan or a single-payer health insurance system. The idea that she would say that seniors wouldn't get their coverage because there would be more people involved, younger people involved. Like Mike was talking about, you're assuming that, or no, you're trying to promote the idea that there's only so much funding, right? There's not going to be any more funding. We're not going to expand funding whatsoever. So we only got this much money to dish out to all the seniors. And if you pack this small circle that we have with younger people, it's going to explode. There's not going to be any money for anybody. So we want our seniors to have coverage. But then it's like, hold on. So you're advocating for a system that it's a Medicare for all senior system.
You like that.
That's like okay. That. But you don't like a Medicare for all everybody system? Like, this system is good for seniors. You want to make sure that they get all the coverage that they need. But everybody else, no, it's okay if they don't have all the coverage they need.
They're just trying to like play people against a group of people that is very sympathetic, which is our elders and our seniors. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty easy. You know, most of the people that will definitely be affected positively by a Medicare for all system, a national Medicare for all system, are children, seniors, and veterans. Those represent a majority of the unemployed.
That's right. And so she also said at this speech at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco, she said, by choosing a socialized system, you are giving the government complete control over the decisions pertaining to your care or whether you receive care at all. It would be the furthest thing from patient-centric care. Again, so she's bad-mouthing a plan that she approves of for seniors, this socialized system. You're giving the government complete control. Again, so you're comfortable with giving the government complete control
of the care of seniors.
But for everybody else, that's a bad idea. It's not patient-centric. Like, look, Medicare is a very popular program. And the reason why is because seniors can get coverage. They can get health coverage. A lot of these seniors are living on fixed incomes. So they can't like enter the private healthcare market because it's just too damn expensive. So there's there's Medicare Part A through D. Medicare Part A is your hospital coverage. You get that if you have worked 40 quarters in your life. You get Medicare Part A. You don't have to pay anything for that. Now, Medicare Part B is like your outpatient services, your preventive services. There's a fee for that one if you want to get that. Your doctor's appointments, your co-pays, that covers all that. So in 2018, the fee is $134 a month for Medicare Part B. Again, a lot of seniors can't even afford that. And for the seniors that, again, they're on fixed incomes. Some of them do get help from the government to pay that bill, but there are others that they're not quite past, that low line, and so they still have to pay it, and then maybe they can't afford their prescription drugs. It's a bad situation. Now, there's Medicare Part C as well. That's Medicare Advantage. And that offers you some more benefits, some more features. It's a very good program for people that don't really go to the doctor a lot. And that can go from anywhere of it can cost you nothing, or it can cost you maybe about $25, $30 a month. So it's not a lot. Medicare Part D is your prescription drug coverage.
I want to stop you right there.
Go ahead.
Because you need to tell the people how you know all that. Tell them, Will. How do you know all that, Mr. Gaillard?
I have my insurance license.
All righty.
Yeah. So I've been in this field for quite a while. So I know all about this, right? So, but I've come in contact with many, many seniors, and I've seen that they can't afford their prescription drug coverage. I've seen that they can't afford to get all the prescriptions that they need. I've seen that they can't afford to go to the doctor. I've seen that they've gone into the donut hole within like the first 2 months of the year. So this is a very problematic issue. And still yet, Medicare, again, is a very popular program. Okay. Now, can it be better? No doubt it can be better. There can be improvements made along the way, more funding in it to give these seniors more help, the more help that they need. But to say that this program isn't patient-centric, that's a fallacy. Like, if you're talking about patient-centric, that has to do with your doctors. That has to do with your providers. And your doctor and your providers, again, they want the best coverage for you. They want you to come into the doctor and make sure that you're getting the treatment that you need. You just need a health plan that will foot the bill. And what this Seema Verma is saying that, all of this is great for the seniors, the oldest of us, but for younger people that have not quite reached 65 years old, be left to your own devices. This isn't a good plan for you.
Oh, that's left to your own devices. And what would those devices be? Like your lack of health? You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like Republicans kind of, expect people, a large percentage of people, to accept their cheap, inconsequential coverage or no coverage at all, and just die slowly, rather than, you know what I'm saying, rather than like advocate for, you know, providing them with some sort of market alternative to healthcare. And again, she's at that little last quote you read off from her, that was like an articulation of that propaganda narrative of the government deciding what healthcare you get and being in total control of treatment. And like I said before, like we both have said, do healthcare providers go away?
They don't. They don't. And again, in total control of your healthcare, there's different type of plans, right? There's PPOs, there are HMOs, you know, and it's the type of plan. I mean, like, if you want one provider to handle everything, that's your HMO, right? If you want more of a choice, you know, you want to go to exactly who you want to go to. You don't want to really be like in a network of well, you could still be in a network, but you don't have to get a recommendation or a referral from like your primary provider. There's all types of plans, but the biggest issue is that you have a plan that will foot the bill for necessary treatment. That's it. Okay. So in Medicare, you do have a provider that will foot the bill for necessary treatment. Why can't you have that for everybody? Why is that being looked down upon by this SEMA Vermer? Why is it being looked down upon? Why is it being considered, oh, it's socialized medicine, government run? Because
maybe a lot of illnesses will be discovered a lot earlier under this system, which it most likely will. You know, instead of people
will live longer,
people will live longer, and
healthier lives.
Because if you have healthcare all your lives, you won't be apprehensive about going and getting checked up. Because a lot of people are apprehensive about even like going and get a checkup. They don't even want to see anything. They don't even want to discover anything because they don't have the means to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? With the system we have now, you know, people are, you know, I guess they're needing heroic and more expensive, you know, measures down the road because they were not able to afford treatment, you know what I'm saying, before.
Think about going to the emergency room. How much of a bill that is. And a lot of people do need it. You know, there's emergencies. You have to go. People are dying because they don't have health insurance. I mean, people are dying because they can't afford their prescription drugs. They're cutting pills in half.
If you have money, we have the best system that money can buy.
Correct.
So it's like, don't get us wrong.
Right.
It's not like the system is horrible, but it's not adequate for people who can't afford great coverage. So yes, if you have the money, we have the best system money can buy. But 95% of people ain't got it like that.
Exactly. And just one more comment that she made. She said that CMS is likely to deny waivers from states that are seeking to implement their own single-payer systems. And so she said, while the agency wants to promote flexibility, quote, I don't think a single-payer system is going to work. And it doesn't make sense to waste time on something that doesn't work. How the hell would you know that single payer does not work? It's working just fine for Medicare recipients, right? It's working just fine for numerous countries all across the globe. How the hell would you know that single payer won't work? Did you try? Did I miss it? Was it implemented and then it was retracted? Did this happen and I just missed it, right?
So basically, like, what we're trying to say is she's full of shit.
She's completely full of shit.
Because, I mean, I think all we need to know is like how the insurance industry acts towards different, you know, policy proposals like this. Right. That should tell us what we need to know about them and the reason why they don't like single payer or Medicare for all type system. Right. Because I think initially Obamacare was supposed to have some sort of it was supposed to have a public option.
It was supposed to.
But guess who was screaming from the rafters? The insurance industry.
Yep.
And they said they would not be able to compete with the government. Compete how, though? You see what I'm saying? It seems that they financially
couldn't compete with the costs.
Compete thank you, compete with the cost. It seems like they were more concerned about their market share,
right,
rather than existing in a society that provides healthcare, access to healthcare for everyone.
That's why profit motives shouldn't be included into healthcare.
Or like, yeah, they pretty much care about profits more so than the general well-being of human beings. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That.
And again, providers
that should tell you.
Have no problem with doctors, nurse practitioners, x-ray technicians. I have no problem with actual providers, people that work in the field, getting paid out the yin-yang. Get paid as much as you want, because again, this is a very important field and you are very instrumental in keeping people healthy and alive. Make all the money that I think you deserve, way more money than you're probably being paid right now. But the private health industry, oh no, y'all can go to hell. Y'all don't need to be here. You don't need to be here at all.
Because you're making a profit essentially off of, you know, people's lack of health for the most part.
And actually, you know what? And actually, I say y'all can go to hell. Y'all can go to hell for like poor people, middle class people. Now you could still be there for the rich that want better coverage. I'm sure there'll be something that, you know, something to pay for. I'm sure there will be. So I'm sure you would still be earning a profit. You just won't be earning as much.
It's greed, man. It's greed. It's greed because there's so many people suffering. They don't care. They're trying to come up with every excuse in the book.
All right, let's move on to good old Ron Rice.
Oh Lord, this is gonna be a funny one.
Yeah, this is funny. All right, so just like in several other states, New Jersey continues to discuss the possibility of legalizing marijuana, recreational marijuana. They have already legalized medical marijuana. So the lesson from other states tells us that it does benefit the economy, and of course it will lead to lesser people being imprisoned. So not all New Jersey politicians are behind the idea, though. New Jersey State Senator Ronald Rice, who is the chairman of the New Jersey Legislative Black Caucus, had some puzzling remarks about his objection to legalization.
If, in fact, we legalize recreational marijuana, right across the street from my office, they're going to put up stores. They want to call them dispensaries. They're going to be stores that do retail selling of cupcakes with marijuana, candies with marijuana, sex toys with marijuana, lipstick with marijuana, and all those kinds of products that kids can get and people can get.
Yo, so look. Count me as somebody that was not in the know. I was not aware that there were marijuana sex toys, marijuana sex products. I was not aware. Now, it may be that I'm just not in the know. It may be something to do with being in South Carolina. We don't have marijuana legalization here.
And if that's not your thing,
it's not. Yeah, if it's not your thing, you wouldn't know. But there are sex products that are marijuana sex products. There are lubricants. There are sex flavored condoms. Marijuana flavored condoms. There are marijuana vibrators. There's a whole host of things.
Actually, you would think he would like be all for that because people are killing two birds with one stone. You know what I'm saying? They're fulfilling their you know what I'm saying, their marijuana needs and their sex needs at the same time.
Yeah.
But see, his main concern is who? What group is his main concern?
This dude mentioned kids, man.
But I mean, like, are children just waltzing into dispensaries, you know, looking for marijuana sex toys? You know what? Let's not even keep it with the sex toys, but that seemed like that was like a major focus for this.
Yeah, it was.
But let's take it off of marijuana and just focus on other things that are illegal for kids to buy. You see what I'm saying? Aren't there things in place to prevent kids from buying certain things that they shouldn't? And if they're discovered with those things, somebody either gets fined, or if a business is discovered, they discover a business selling those items, that business gets fined.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you could be arrested.
You can be arrested. So, I mean, there are things that prevent children from getting their hands on things. Now, again, they do end up in the hands of kids in some cases, but guess what? We have certain like provisions in place to tackle that issue if it comes into play.
Yeah, look, guns are illegal for a certain age of person, right?
Tobacco and tobacco products and paraphernalia,
alcohol, all of this is illegal. And again, marijuana products, right? You have to be 21 to buy them.
Yes.
You have to be 21 to buy them. Like if you look around the states that have passed recreational use of marijuana, you have to be 21 to buy any, amount of marijuana or marijuana product. So why would you be concerned about kids getting candies with marijuana, cookies, sex toys? This wouldn't be touching children. It would be touching
he's making
responsible
it like
adults.
He's making it like adults don't eat candy and eat muffins or cupcakes.
Is this gonna be like in the playground? Like there's gonna be one of those machines?
Yes, that's exactly what he's thinking about.
Put a quarter in.
Put a quarter in. He think it's gonna be like like in the grocery store where you turn the thing, you put like a quarter in to turn it, and a piece of marijuana candy comes out, and you can eat it. So he's envisioning like Jessica, Adam, and Benjamin on the playground sucking on some marijuana lollipops.
Yes, like it's gonna be promoted towards children. Like it's gonna be actually marketed for children. Hey kids. No.
Like do like cartoons and whatnot.
Man, this is ridiculous.
It's not gonna be like there's gonna be commercials on Cartoon Network. Like this mother thing, like it's not gonna be like that.
Nah.
Most likely kids aren't gonna be aware of where those dispensaries are in the first place.
They won't even know.
They don't even know that. But now they know about it now because of your dumb ass. Like you're doing the work. Yes. And if anything, like it's almost like he's promoting it. Like first of all, you're talking about something that gets people high, which is marijuana, which people love, and then sex, which is something most people love. Right. So you combine the two, you're not deterring people, you're probably making people go, I guarantee you, though the people that heard him talk were probably thinking like, man, I wonder if there's a dispensary in my city.
And look, again, marijuana in South Carolina, not legal. But again, I had no idea about marijuana and sex products. Now I had idea about marijuana and cookies, even candies. I was like, I didn't even think about that. But marijuana and sex products, I had no clue about that. So he is informative. He is informing people about this.
Because like I said, it just seemed like he went to the sex thing for some reason. But it doesn't matter. Like when something becomes legal, like what people want to do with it in their personal lives,
that's on them.
It's none of our business. You know what I'm saying? If somebody wants to take a lawnmower blade into the bedroom, that's none of my business, dog.
As long as it's consensual, right? You ain't hurting nobody.
Yeah, if you can not hurt yourself in the bedroom by using a lawnmower blade, by all accounts, do it. You want to stick a Xbox controller up your butt? Do that. We've heard about gerbils.
We've heard about gerbils. I've heard about that before. Look, people are wild, man. People wild and crazy, man.
People are wild and crazy. So again, once something is legal, how they use it is up to them. So it's like it just seems like he just went to the sex angle like too quickly. And if you're talking about kids, I don't think kids need marijuana in order to like stimulate some sort of sexual desire. You're talking about a group that is in possession of a toxic amount of hormones that is new to them and unfamiliar.
They already feel high. They're high on life every second of the day, man. Please. Okay, so these are some more comments from him.
I'm 5 blocks away from Seton Hall University in South Orange, New Jersey, which is a predominant, rich, upper middle class, white community, college community. What we know is that when you legalize marijuana recreationally, the number of people who've never used any types of drugs goes up substantially in terms of drug use.
So see, now this dude is doing way too much. He was already doing too much when he's talking about sex toys for kids and sex candies for kids. He was already doing too much. Now he's doing way too much because so he understands what his area is like. This is college town, a white college town. And what he understands, what he knows for a fact is that when you legalize marijuana, drug use goes up. Now, how the hell, Mr. State Senator Ron Rice, how the hell do you know that to be how do you know that to be true? Because in New Jersey, it's never been legal. And if actually there are studies that have been proven, there have been studies that have indicated that in states where they have legalized recreational use of marijuana, drug use has actually gone down. And in teenagers, drug use has gone down. So there's two things. One, of course, like drug use overall when you're talking about marijuana drug use, is that going to go up? Probably so, at least for the like the foreseeable future, like the first year or two. It's probably going to go up. It's going to go, like, it's going to level out to some degree. But when you make it legal, people aren't going to be afraid that they're going to be arrested for it and be in prison for it. So that's one thing. But two, he made it about all drug use.
Oh,
this
the
dude,
gateway thing?
Yes, this dude believes that marijuana is a gateway drug, like a major gateway drug. Now, again, look at the states that have legalized it. All right, California has, well, just has. Oregon, I believe, Washington, Colorado. Are you telling me that you have some studies that prove that these people, because their states have legalized marijuana, they have now started enjoying heroin, they've gone to meth, maybe they've tried bath salts or something like that? Because I don't,
crocodile.
Yeah. There is no study that I've seen that has proven that whatsoever. He just wants to throw that out there, like, to scare people and scare members of his own legislature, like, yo, this is a really bad deal. We cannot do this because we're going to see even more drug use in our state. People on the streets shooting up and doing this, getting addicted to heroin.
He sees little kids sitting on the monkey bars and on the slide like this, scratching. You know, do you think it's more or less him being ignorant, like old fashioned wise, like he's just stuck in his ways and he kind of believes those, like, that kind of historical propaganda that kind of once was pushed, or do you think he has some sort of financial interest? I don't know. I didn't look it up. But
you don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't go that far. I didn't look him up and see, is he, like, friendly with the pharmaceutical industry? I don't know. But, like, from the most part, how he was sounding, he just sounded like an old, uninformed dude.
Yeah, and that was just like making junk up. I mean, and not to say that he's making it up in the moment. Maybe he just really, maybe he grew up or like learning this, and he still holds these ideas as factual in his head, and he's never actually partaken in any kind of research or any kind of studies or anything like that to, like, kind of shift his viewpoint. I don't know. He did seem like he really believed it, but you know how politicians are.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
He was a good actor.
Yeah, if
that's not what he believes, and he's just bullshitting based on some sort of relationship he has with the pharmaceutical industry, he's being a really good, humble actor. Because he seemed like, man, he's in his sex toys, and then he got the university, and these kids gonna be smoking, and dispensaries gonna be got candy, Coke, they're gonna have candy, muffins, and I'm like, yeah, he just sounded like one of them old heads. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know what these kids gonna do nowadays, man. You know what these kids, like, you know.
Again, like, if alcohol is legal, if tobacco products are legal, there is no good logic for marijuana to be illegal. So I'm glad the New Jersey legislature is talking about this, discussing this, and they're discussing the bill about it. They're also discussing an amendment to the bill that would expunge the criminal records for people that have been charged and convicted of marijuana possession. So that's a great thing too, because you can't just say, okay, we're going to legalize marijuana and leave all the people in prison that have been convicted of possession of marijuana. No, you have got to include both of them. So I hope that they do legalize it, and I hope that they get those inmates out of prison for those charges. No doubt. This Ron Rice guy, man,
see, like,
let's just let people do what they want to do, man. Straight up, man. There's been nothing to suggest that marijuana is gonna lead to, like, death, overdose, actually being a gateway drug. That's just you're doing too much, man. All right, let's go to Kruta. All right, where do I get that at? All right, here we go. Yeah. All right, we still got people. All right. So, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the lightning rod Democratic hopeful to represent New York's 14th district in Congress. Last month, she beat the 10-term incumbent Joe Crowley in the Democratic primary. Ever since, she's been conducting many interviews and eliciting support to other progressive Democratic candidates. So on Saturday, she was in St. Louis, Missouri to campaign with Cori Bush, who was seeking to unseat incumbent Democratic Representative Lacey Clay. So during the rally, Ocasio-Cortez spoke about education and health care for children, and it made someone in particular feel very uncomfortable. So Virginia Kruta, who is an associate editor for the Daily Caller, which is a conservative website, she attended the rally and wrote an op-ed about her experience. She described why listening to Ocasio-Cortez was, quote, truly terrifying. So these are some quotes from her op-ed piece. I saw how easy it would be as a parent to accept the idea that my children deserve health care and education. I saw how easy it would be as someone who has struggled to make ends meet to accept the idea that a living wage was a human right. Above all, I saw how easy it would be to accept the notion that it was the government's job to make sure that those things were provided. Now, again, I just want to make it clear. These were her words verbatim. It appeared just like that. Bullet points and all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had also like explained that she had been to like a Cruz rally, Ted Cruz. She had been to a Rick Perry rally,
right?
And she had been to a Donald Trump rally.
She has.
And this really wasn't really a rally. This Ocasio-Cortez, you know, I guess forum or whatever, what forum that she was at, we're talking about healthcare and education. It wasn't really a rally. It wasn't really a rally though. And
it was just a meeting. I mean, Cori Bush was there. And it was a campaign style.
And like one thing that this lady pointed out was that she couldn't deal with the tone of it. The tone was so different. And I'm like, you know what? She's not using the right word. Because really what she was just upset about was the subject matter. It wasn't really the tone. It was kind of the subject matter. But I don't know how talks of healthcare and education are so traumatic. Like
terrifying.
Terrifying. It's terrifying. And I was like considering the other rallies like she has gone to, like that, I'm kind of concerned for her children. If a talk about if a forum where the subject matter is education and healthcare is troubling to her, I'm trying to figure out, are rallies where the speaker chants lock her up more of her taste? Because she said she went to a Trump rally. Is a rally where the speaker's sense of confidence and self-worth is based on how he insults his enemies more up her aisle? You know what I'm saying? Is a rally where the speaker encourages, I guess, rally goers to engage in violence, and the speaker himself says that he will pay the legal fees of those who engage in violence on his behalf? Is that like more family friendly for her?
It's more her style.
Does that more her style?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is that did those rallies, you know, kind of have life lessons that she would want to bestow upon her kids? But she would definitely never ever want to bestow upon her kids the idea that education and healthcare should have more broad access, you know, throughout the United States. Now that's a bridge too far.
That's why this has been getting clowned on social media and on Twitter. Her words have been cited, and people are actually claiming that this must be parody, because this doesn't seem like it's real. Like, it's like, hold on, you're saying that advocating for healthcare and education for everybody is scary to you, and you're like being serious about it? No, you can't be being serious. But like her words, like, I mean, she says, above all, I saw how easy it would be to accept the notion that it was the government's job to make sure that all those things were provided. And you're saying this like you're uncomfortable with it. Again.
And she's saying it as if like the government is not already involved itself in regards to certain needs of the community, certain needs of the citizens of this country. The
Right.
government already gets itself involved in certain things. I don't care if it's firefighter, big firefireman, sorry, and then policemen.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
And
like-
it's like the government should be involved. And the government is already involved. It's just that we understand that the government should be more involved in some areas. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a government. Like, if you are a member of government or you are involved in the electoral process, that means like you are actually going to the voting booth and you are actually selecting somebody that, you know, to vote for, then that means that you support government on some level. So it makes sense that the government would provide some things for us. And again, they are in the insurance market, right? They are on insurance matters. They're in the education field as well. It's just that they're not there enough to make sure that everybody is taken care of. It's not that everybody wants a handout. It's not that people just want things free, because again, everybody would be paying for exactly what we are calling for. It's just that we need somebody there to actually dish it out, to actually like funnel it to us. It's not that we're saying like we're going to lay on our asses and you're just going to give us healthcare. You're going to actually make sure that we are provided with a quality education as well. We're not going to do anything to make sure that it happens. The government just come up with the money. It's not going to come from our taxes or anything. That's not it. The government is already collecting taxes from us, right? They're collecting a buttload of taxes from the middle class and from poor people. They're cutting taxes for the rich and for corporations. Since I believe since the 60s, we've talked about this on a number of shows before too. Since the 60s, the middle class has been taking more and more of the tax burden away from corporations.
But why are we in this situation in the first place? Like, people who say, well, I don't think healthcare should be a universal right. Well, guess what? If you don't think healthcare should be a universal right, then why should police protection be a universal right? Why should the paving of our roads, you know, be a universal right? Why should they even have to do that? Essentially, to me, you know, ensuring that people have access to healthcare is a version of, let's say, the government paving roads so people can get to a destination more efficiently. That's kind of how I see it.
Because the government has to be that middleman.
Again, and why are we in this situation in the first place? We're in a situation because of greed.
So if we like you said, so if they're paving roads, we need to get from here to maybe our job, and the government is providing that road, right? Through taxes, access, right?
That's what roads give us.
If we want health care, we have to get there. We have to get to health care, right?
So yeah,
the government can provide.
The government can pave those roads no differently than the government pays roads for us to get us from point A to point B. It's the same concept.
So anyway, she actually did appear on Fox News to talk about her experience, and we have a clip from her appearance.
Virginia, as a conservative, when you're sitting in that audience or standing in that audience and you're listening to that message, how did it make you feel? Were you angry? Were you more drawn to that?
I was mostly uncomfortable because I was surrounded by a group of people who were talking about how they had gotten involved because they were tired of being angry all the time. And it seems like so much effort to be angry about everything instead of to focus on what you could do to change it.
Yo, that makes no sense. She said that she was around people that felt like they were tired of being angry, and it makes no sense that you were putting so much effort into being angry. These people, like Ocasio-Cortez, right, and like Cori Bush, they were tired of being angry about their current situations and the current situations of many people. So what did they do? They made the very difficult the very difficult decision to actually run for Congress. You have to, first of all, you have to be so knowledgeable about many different issues if you want to actually be like a legitimate candidate. to actually win like Ocasio-Cortez did. Do you know how many blood, sweat, and tears? Like, I mean, like, do you know how many like hours she had to put in? Like, I remember there was this one time she posted a picture of her shoes or her
the
boots,
bottom of her shoes,
and they were worn through because that's like signifying how much she walked and how many doors she knocked on. These people are tired of angry, so they're making moves. They're advocating for a better system. They're not just sitting back being angry.
But she then said, like, people should be, like, addressing the issues instead of being mad. And that's exactly what that forum was about, addressing the issues. But I guess it's truly sick. It's just so sick that people want people to have better access to health care. I think there was, I can't remember whether it was the op-ed she wrote or was that interview, but she claims to hate uninformed populism. That's what she claims to hate. And I think that's ironic considering that she was a Trump supporter. And I do remember during his campaign, did he not run on the issue of healthcare being repealed and replaced with something better and cheaper?
Yes,
and cheaper. So talk about uninformed populism. That's exactly what they called Trump's campaign. Well, they call it populism,
right?
But it turns out it was uninformed populism. Who knew? Like
no direction populism.
What did he say? Who knew healthcare could be so hard or difficult? Whatever word he used.
Towards the end of her op-ed, she said, I left the rally with a photo, in part to remind myself of that time I crashed a rally headlined by a socialist, but also in part to remind myself that there, but for the grace of God, go I. Now again, okay, I understand that she has a different ideology. It's no problem, you know. I do understand that she's also uninformed. So I mean, there's a lot of those people out there, no doubt. But what I take issue with is the word socialist, yet again. It seems like so many people that have a problem with Ocasio-Cortez are labeling her a socialist. Now again, she has made it very clear what she stands for. She has made it very clear what her platform is. Is it socialist, or does she recognize that like capitalism isn't going anywhere, but under capitalism, we can do many things better? We have socialist type policies already embedded into our government. We have a mixed economy. So it's not socialism to say that, yeah, the government can provide health care for all. It's not socialism to say, yeah, the government can provide tuition-free college, tuition-free colleges and universities at public colleges and universities. That is not socialism. It's already what we have. We can just do a better job of actually advocating for the best interest of people. So the whole socialism label, these people are just trying to fearmonger others who are deeply misinformed about the actual platform of somebody like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
And like it is, I think the main way that this country does support socialism in some form of fashion is, I guess, the agency that we spend the most money on. So the area we spend the most money on. And what's that?
Talking about military?
I'm talking about military.
You talking about the big Department of War?
Department of War. That's what it used to be called.
Yep.
Department of War. So, I mean, if we could spend all of that money there, that should tell people that we have enough money to spread around to fund different social programs. Why can't it be healthcare? Why can't it be education? You can take a small fraction away from that defense budget. A small fraction. Yep. I guess we got to keep building all those nuclear warheads.
Yep. And you remember just a few days ago, Trump announced that there was going to be a $12 billion bailout welfare plan for farmers.
Yeah, because of the tariffs.
So we discovered $12 billion.
Discovered.
It was sitting somewhere because it wasn't being used for anything else, obviously. But there's $12 billion available for farmers that were negatively impacted by Trump's own decision making.
Yo, I like that. Yo, Ditsy, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Ditsy Lig. It says balancing shouldn't be spending less. It should be better redistribution.
That's right.
Yo, for real.
Exactly. We already have money to pay for the things that we need to like I said again, advocate for the best interest of people. So why don't we just do that instead of like fearmonger, like, oh my gosh, like this woman is so scared.
You know what's so
You're
funny?
gonna provide education and insurance for everybody?
They're scared of like the G-rated, dumbed down version of socialism. It's not even real socialism she's advocating. It's not like she's advocating for a system where the workers own the means of production.
Right.
I haven't heard her say anything about that.
No.
That's that real.
You know what she's scared of? What's currently going on? She's scared of America today, the United States of America today. She's scared of, that's exactly what's going down right now. We just want to move it into better, like into more areas and actually like have it done better. Like we just want a better process. We want better outcomes for people. It's not transforming the system. And it's not changing the damn thing.
You know what's crazy? Like, these people are so greedy because they can still make a shit ton of money. There can still be a shit ton of money made while people are still provided for. That's how like extreme their greed is. Because they can still, these corporations can still make a shit ton of money.
You know they will.
You know what? People who are bought off and paid for by corporations, they can still get paid. They still be rich. They still be well off. Even if the majority of Americans are taken care of, they can still have their cheese. But they are so fucking greedy.
All right, so we got one more story to talk about, and it deals with Cortez again, Ocasio-Cortez. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she appeared with Senator Bernie Sanders this past weekend on CBS's Face the Nation, and the subject of Representative Nancy Pelosi came up. So host Margaret Brennan asked Ocasio-Cortez if she would support Representative Pelosi to reclaim leadership of the House, and this is how she responded.
Well, right now there is a female leader within the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi. If you were lucky enough to win in November and come here to Washington, will you support her?
You know, I need to get to Congress first. I need to work on winning my general election. But
you don't see her as the party
to,
leader?
I mean, she's the current party leader, absolutely. And I look forward to be part of that conversation and winning back the House. There is no decision about the party leader until we win the House first.
So you are leaving open the possibility you may endorse her if you win in November?
Yeah.
You know what? What was that on Face the Nation?
Face the Nation. CBS's Face the Nation.
Face the Nation. Look, I'm not sure if the host was kind of in control of the dialogue. I'm not sure if she was given like talking points in regard to how to address Ocasio-Cortez. I don't know. What I do suspect is they were trying to create some drama, because Face the Nation knows how Nancy Pelosi reacted to Ocasio-Cortez's victory and said it wasn't a big deal. And the way that the question was presented to Ocasio-Cortez, like the Democratic Party already has a leader type of thing. I was like, why would you put it like that? Because Ocasio-Cortez is seen as like an up and coming young leader. You know what I'm saying? It's like someone that is kind of ruffling feathers a bit. She's rocking the boat, and she's kind of gained a lot of popularity, a lot of visibility based on her winning campaign and how she won it. So I think why did they make it about just Pelosi, as if there is not other leadership in the Democratic Party that Ocasio-Cortez is going to have to worry about? And like, she's not even there yet. And like Ocasio-Cortez said, she hasn't even won yet. Why are they trying to, like, it just seems like they were using this opportunity to actually trip her up. And to me, that was the right answer.
Yeah. I know a lot of people aren't going to like her answer because we want politicians to say what's on their mind. We want politicians to be brutally honest, and if they don't support somebody, say it. If they support an idea, say it. You know, if they oppose something, say it. You know, just be just as truthful as you can be. But for those people, they don't understand that it doesn't matter what your positions are. It doesn't matter, like, if you don't take corporate PAC money, or money from big business, or foreign governments, because that's legal, dark money. But it doesn't matter if you are on the right side. You still have to play politics. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to, I guess, capitulate to big money interests. It doesn't mean that you have to, I guess, compromise your integrity. It just means that you do have to play the game. It wouldn't have made any sense for Ocasio-Cortez, who has not won the general election yet, for her to make some controversy of her like being against Nancy Pelosi. It just wouldn't have made any sense. All it would have done would have created a news firestorm. Everybody would have been talking about it. Oh, Ocasio-Cortez doesn't support Nancy Pelosi, and all the Democrats would have been against her. Why are you talking back? We're supposed to be uniting as a team. You know what I'm saying? Team Blue, and we got to get back the House. So Ocasio-Cortez understands that. Why the hell would she talk about this when job number one is for the Democratic Party to win back the House? Now, if that happens, and then next year, early next year, when the new class of representatives steps into office, they have the leadership. Well, they have control of the House. Now begins the conversation of who is going to be the majority leader in the House. Now, at that time, if Ocasio-Cortez comes out and says that, yeah, I support Nancy Pelosi, then damn it, I'm firmly against her, because then that will mean that everything that you stand for, everything that you said your platform was about, man, it looks like it's a lie, because there's no way that you can have that platform. It's no way that you can advocate for the things that you do and be supportive of Nancy Pelosi. So we have to wait until that time. We can't, I guess, be critical of her right now. Again, politics is a game. It's as much as we want it to be about ideals, ideology, your integrity. It should be, but it's definitely about performing too. It's definitely about playing the game, and this is exactly what Ocasio-Cortez was supposed
understanding
to do.
What battles you have to win, and what battles you have to kind of wait to fight. Because what would have come out of this if she would have said no. The headlines today would have read something like Ocasio-Cortez seeks to unseat Democratic House Minority Leader.
No doubt. It would have been everywhere,
Pelosi.
Man. It would have been. CNN, MSNBC,
it would have been like
New York Times.
Headline, Pelosi better watch out. Ocasio-Cortez coming for Pelosi.
Yeah.
It
would have been all about that. No doubt. So again, she stepped over a mine. She stepped over a landmine.
I think they were trying to definitely put one right in her line of movement.
Because they know her platform. They know who she is.
Yeah.
They know that she won't likely support Nancy Pelosi. I just want to get you on record saying that you don't support her.
Then we can say, you see, this is why she doesn't need to be in the Democratic Party.
Exactly. She doesn't want to actually advocate for change, because to advocate for change, you have to be with us, Team Blue. And look, we're critical of the Democratic Party, and there's every reason to be critical of the Democratic Party. But I'm not going to be critical of somebody that is actually running to change it from within, okay? I doubt that it can happen. It can happen. Maybe we don't see it on the horizon. Maybe at some point it will happen. Whatever. But I'm not going to, like I said, be critical and marginalize somebody's efforts to make that happen. And it seems like she is somebody of high integrity. Somebody that actually wants to get something positive done, many positive things done. So again, I understand why she said what she said. If it does come to a point early next year when the Democratic Party is in control of the House, and Ocasio-Cortez comes out and says that she supports Nancy Pelosi, then you can call her a fake. But not now. It's too soon to do that now. All right, man. We got through with everything.
It was kind of early too, man.
Yeah, man.
It's right at almost at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, man. 2 hours, man. Yeah. We probably went on about 8:05, so hitting it right on the dot, pretty much. Went 2:02.
Oh, Lord. When I see talking points, kind of talking points that I've heard over and over again in regards to the same subject, it just frustrates me, because We have regular people taking these talking points that are most likely derived from individuals that probably don't have your best interest at hand. And there are two particular talking points that I've seen over and over again. And I kind of see someone in the chat using that. And this person, I think I commented on another thing, this comment they said, but it said we should be focusing on leveling the playing field. Focus equal opportunity, not equal outcomes. What do you think leveling the playing field is trying to do? Like, what do you think that focusing, what do you think that does? You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody has to this day defined to me what, like, I guess, promoting equal outcomes means. No one has defined to me like what that not only means, what that actually looks like. So when people say, we shouldn't be promoting equal outcomes, what does that look like? Explain to me what promoting an equal outcome looks like. Nobody's ever shown me, not just somebody promoting an equal outcome, showing me a situation where that has been done. I'll use like scholarships as an example. That is trying to promote certain people to get in position so they can be successful. That does not create an outcome. Like, giving someone a scholarship does not equal a diploma. That person still has to do the work. You see what I'm saying? It's almost impossible to create outcomes because nobody can be given anything. I can, I guess, focus on job outreach, or I guess like helping people find vocations. I can reach out to them. It doesn't matter how much, I guess, knowledge I give them or how much knowledge I provide them or assistance I provide them. That's not going to give them a job. It's not going to give them money. They still have to do that. So I'm just confused about what equal outcome means, because you can't create outcomes. I don't think anyone in government has actually advocated for that. I never understood what, promoting equal outcomes means. I never understood that. I think people just say that because they don't want to level the playing field. If they actually did level the playing field, they'd see that there are certain things that have been implemented to try to do that. And it's interesting. Another thing is interesting about that particular comment, because this person mentioned something about crony capitalism. We don't have true capitalism. We have crony capitalism. Could you please inform us where this true capitalism has flourished and not had corruption involved or cronyism? I really want to know.
Capitalism is crony.
Capitalism is crony capitalism. I've seen that argument used so many times. It's not new. So I don't know why you just carrying this around like as if it's true, and I don't really there's nothing tangible that I've seen that kind of validates that position.
All right, so we're going to set this up for taking calls. So please give us a call at 669-900-6833 and be a part of the conversation. Let us know how you feel about some of these issues that we've talked about. I'll respond to another comment on chat. Marsha is saying there is no good capitalism. It extorts, extracts, and uses up without any concern other than lines someone's pockets. Hey, there's a good case to be made that, yeah, capitalism is no good. And it does do exactly what you said there is. The problem is that capitalism isn't going anywhere anytime soon. There is no thinking. There's no logical thinking that capitalism is going anywhere. So at this point, like, I'm not advocating for the removal of capitalism from our economy. I'm just not doing it because, again, it's not a realistic position. It's nowhere down the line. So what we can do, though, is that we can advocate for more programs that actually serves our interests. We already have a mixed economy. Like we were saying, we have socialist policies. We have many socialist policies. We can do more. We can do more to put all of us in a better situation overall. We know about the tax advantages of the rich and the wealthy. We know about all of that. they can still be rich and they can still be greedy, but we can still get better. I guess we can still get better outcomes in this capitalistic society that we have, in this capitalistic economy that we have.
And if the only example of capitalism we have is crony capitalism, putting crony in front of it doesn't change it. This is the only example. This is the only example we have had of a capitalist economic system and how it works.
Yeah.
Again, putting crony in front of it doesn't really change it. Because if it was actually a good system, it couldn't be cronified.
Exactly. Like capitalism, you can say it breeds greed. It breeds corruption. It is corruption. It is greed.
So that's in place and it's built in.
Yeah.
Then it's not being misused. It's being used properly. It's being used like for the intended purpose.
It is what it is.
And like Mr. Dead said, My Pocket said, it's impossible to implement equal outcomes. So again, that's actually impossible, and I agree with. That's why really nobody has realistically tried to promote equal outcomes, because that's not something you can promote.
Right.
Because that suggests you like give somebody something. Like that's why I use the example of a diploma. You can try to even the playing field with scholarships, but that doesn't like determine outcomes. You can't make them study. You can't make them earn a diploma. So the equal outcomes argument falls flat because that's not something that's actually being done, and that's not something that's actually possible.
Again, like capitalism, again, you can badmouth it. I mean, I can do the same thing, but with regulations in place, like I just saw somebody say, with regulations in place, with the addition of better programs that actually advocates for all people, it definitely can work. Now, can it be undone? No doubt. So it's like you have to convince enough people that we need to advocate for all people. And so it cannot be undone by any corrupt politician or any corrupt business owner.
That's the problem.
It is the problem.
I think it's one thing to try to convince the populace, but it's a different thing to try to convince those in power, those who were in leadership positions.
That's why it starts with us, because if we're still voting for the same type of people that actually aren't representing our interests, then we do have ourselves to blame, because we do have the power. If they won't actually reform the system, then I mean,
yeah, I know, Jay Scott. Yeah, we just said crony is built into it, but like I think when Will says he doesn't want to get rid of capitalism, I don't think that's like an absolute. I think we both understand that that's not a system that can sustain itself for a long period of time. But if we're being realistic and understand that capitalism is you can't just all of a sudden just like cut everything up.
Yeah.
We're just talking about I guess including things within a system we already have that will, I guess, make access to certain things easier for people within the system we already have. That's the conversation.
Because it can be done.
It can be done. That's all we're saying. We're saying is that is possible. That doesn't mean capitalism is good for the long haul, because we understand that inevitably capitalism will lead to like a severe system crash. We can keep propping it up as long as we want to, but if we're talking about like realistic options, do you have a realistic option today, right now? Today, you do not have a realistic option in regards to just scrapping capitalism today or tomorrow or next week, because you don't just have a capitalistic system, which is an economic theory. You have, I guess, state-sponsored capitalism. You have an entire government apparatus that is a contingent upon capitalism, survives under capitalism. So our entire government. So it's not just an economic system. It's a network. So again, we need things on state side to make sure capitalism remains solvent, and the leaders to ensure that system remains solvent. So it's not just an economic theory. It's like how our tangible system is set up.
Realistic is the word. And just like I on the last show, I talked about, we were talking about guns. And personally, I said that, yeah, I wish every gun on the planet would be removed. I'm not an advocate for guns. I don't feel comfortable around guns. I don't think there's no use for them whatsoever, right? So yeah, I would be personally an advocate for the removal of all guns from all societies, right? But understanding what reality is, I'm not going to advocate for a ban on all guns because I understand what this world is. I understand what this country is. It's just not, it's like, you're not going to make any progress coming from that position. That's not a starting position whatsoever. So again, with this, I guess with this issue of the economy and the economic system that we have, if you start from, we need to get rid of capitalism, you're not going anywhere whatsoever.
Vince here must be one of those like extreme right-wing Rand Paulian type libertarians, because essentially what you're advocating for is a fear of liability. That's all you're talking about. You said if the small innovator can compete without obstacles and without the fear of endless lawsuits, you will see a true shift in wealth. I'm pretty sure the small innovator, and when you say small, you're just talking about a regular guy. I'm pretty sure any regular person that wants to, I guess, provide some sort of service technology to the rest of the world, and is a good person, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't give a fuck about being held liable if that shit blows up and blows somebody's arm off. So what you're saying is you want a system that is devoid of liability.
Yeah, remove all regulations like this administration has been trying to do.
Remove all liability and everything will work out fine. Come on, man. That's essentially what you just said.
Oh, yo, and we are, look, I will point to one thing that it doesn't just rub me the wrong way, it offends me. We talked about the Bank Lobbyist Act, right? We talked about how for this was supposed to be done for small banks, you know, community banks. But what they did was they changed the rules so that banks, it used to be like if you had $50 million in assets, you were subject to some regulations and some rules, right? Then they changed that mark to $250 billion in assets, right? So that means now even larger banks, mid-sized banks, large banks will not have to actually do like some background information. They won't have to actually I guess, adhere to these regulations. It'll only be like the biggest, huge banks in the country. Now, with that act, with that removing of these regulations, what it did was that through these regulations, they were able to see if customers were being taken advantage of, and specifically black and brown customers, because we saw in many cases where black and brown people, even though they had similar credit profiles, they were being charged higher interest rates. Didn't matter, right? They were being denied loans as well. And the only reason we knew that is because these banks had to record demographic information. So with this new removal of regulations, they don't have to do that anymore. So what do you think that's going to do? Do you think like these businesses are just going to be like, you know what? We got caught once. There's no chance of us getting caught again because we don't even have to take down that information. We don't have to record that information. We're just going to do the right thing now. No, you need regulations in place so that businesses will do the right thing. That's the same reason why the CFPB is what was enacted, to advocate for the customer, for the consumer, to make sure they're not screwed by big business. The CFPB is a regulatory organization, and they advocate for the consumer. If you remove regulations, what do you think is going to happen?
You know what that is? That's called corporate gaslighting. It's like they're working backwards. They're acting as if the regulations came first when they didn't. It's kind of like
it's because of a reason.
It's like warning labels usually came second because somebody did something stupid.
Right.
So again, regulations come because some corporation tried to screw people. That's why the regulations came in the first place. Like this whole idea that regulations are handcuffing capitalism. I'm like, damn, if regulations are handcuffing capitalism, we still have this extreme gap in wealth, and the wealth gap is growing. If that happened and capitalism is handcuffed, like it happened when capitalism is supposedly handcuffs. Imagine if that goes away. Think the gap will get smaller? You think the corporation will be like, man, damn. Even with regulations, them mugs can't do shit about the gap that we created. So they're gonna like somehow find it within their heart all of a sudden when there's no regulation there to close the gap.
It's like acting like greed is not a thing.
Greed doesn't exist.
Greed doesn't exist. So you can relax all these rules, get rid of these regulations. Just let's free up these businesses to do what they do. They'll do it the right way. Honestly, let's just leave them to their own devices. No, you can't do that because greed is actually a thing that is inherent in some human beings. Some human beings, they grow to it. They get accustomed to it. They realize that, hey, I can do this. I can make as much money as I want. You know what? If I screw people over, I can make even more.
And see, Vince, all you're really talking about is, like you say, you want to prevent frivolous lawsuits and large companies from lobbying for anti-competitive policies. For the most part, like you have to understand that every single politician is not beholden to the same corporations, and so they get into this tug of war about what regulations are sound based on who they're connected to. So there might be a politician who is connected and beholden to the interest of a land developer. Or there might be another one who takes money from private prisons and doesn't take money from the land developer. There might be one who takes money from, let's say, the pharmaceutical industry, but doesn't take money from private prisons. So you'll see that his positions on private prisons might be more objective than the pharmaceutical industry. And so yes, he might support regulations to, let's say, hamper, private prisons, maybe because his opponent takes money from private prisons. So it's like it's not about, I guess our representatives creating legislation for one market or another. It's still at the end of the day based on who they're beholden to. You see what I'm saying? So if we like kind of get that money out of politics, you won't see those supposed kind of competitive policies being in place. And most of the time, that's just internal trade wars. Most likely, all you're talking about is internal trade wars. You're talking about greedy people fighting each other for a market. That's called greed. That's what they do. They will lobby for competitive prices because they are greedy against each other. They have nothing to do with the small guy. So even if a regulation is pushed forward by legislatures or by our legislators, it's most likely because they are beholden to that particular market. And again, you're still talking about internal trade wars, like this particular set of corporation pushing for regulation that's going to benefit them, and they don't care about some other market. You're just talking about internal trade wars, which still goes back to crony capitalism. So it doesn't matter how you look at it. It's still corporations trying to fight for things that's going to benefit them at the end of the day.
Marsha, don't take it personal. We read your question and we were just talking about the idea of it, capitalism going away. So we weren't trying to, I guess, suggest that you thought that it's possible. We just, like I said, just developed into a bigger argument. Or a bigger conversation.
And there were like, there's some, and there was somebody else, there was a few other people in the comment section, maybe one other, that was kind of pushing your argument to the unrealistic extreme. So I think we understand your position, Marsha. So nah, you ain't being dissed, babe. You ain't being dissed. Because we have seen your position on the other live shows, so we kind of know where you stand.
Okay, so Vince here said we do need regulations to protect the public interest, but we should scrutinize how these regulations are being crafted. There's nothing wrong with that. There's really nothing wrong with that. Scrutinize how regulations are being crafted. Like, we don't want
you just said how the regulation is being crafted. Regulation to protect the public interest. So why would you scrutinize regulations designed to protect the public interest?
But if we're saying that like we're not advocating for regulations just for the simple fact that there just needs to be regulations there. Like, hey, regulation over there, we need as many as we can. No, we're not we need regulations to protect the public interest from the big boys, the influential boys, the big businesses, the wealthy individuals. We do need those. Like, we have enough history. We have enough of a track record as a country. We have, like, companies have done enough business in this country to understand, like, okay, what needs to be in place. Do you understand? Like, we already know what should be in place, what needs to be in place if we're going to actually protect public interest, consumer interest, right? So the thing that I was talking about, like the Bank Lobbyist Act, there was no reason to higher that threshold, or, you know, to raise that threshold to $250 billion in assets, because all that's going to do is going to lead to corruption. It's going to lead to black and brown people being taken advantage of. So that's a regulation that needed to stay in place. But the call for reducing regulation has been so extreme, and Donald Trump feels like, look, we gotta peel back all these layers. We gotta allow business to do exactly what they do. You know, they're being disenfranchised. No, it's all bullshit.
You're just actually proving my point. I totally agree with you. You said, again, the vaping industry is a good example as the tobacco lobbies are advocating for strict regulation. You're talking about big business trying to lobby so that another group is, I guess, smothered. You're still talking about the actions of big business. That's what you're talking about. You're not talking about, like, regulation that's being pushed by members of the public. That's not what you're talking about. You're talking about regulations, and you're talking about money in politics. That's all you're talking about. Like I said, you're still proving my point about internal trade wars. That's all that is.
Yo, we do have a number. We do have a number, right? We have a number to call?
I believe we do.
It's 669-900-6833. You will have to put in the code, 933-216-5779. Anybody is free to call. We don't do call screenings, We ain't got it like that right now. And even if we did, like, there's no reason to. Anybody can call us and talk to us. If you have a different point of view, cool. You're free to argue it. We can have a respectful conversation and disagree. There's no reason for it to be, like, really contentious and really, like, disrespectful or anything like that.
Why do people, like, when people use the word regulation, right? It's always like how can I say? It's like a negative regulation, not a positive. It's always when people like hear the word regulation, they hear take away.
Yep, it's a negative. Yeah.
Even though, isn't there such thing as a positive regulation? For instance, a regulation to do or not to do is still a regulation. So when people hear the word regulation, they're not talking about the regulations that allow corporations to screw people. They're fine with those regulations. It's still a regulation, because, like, let's say you have kids, and if you say, okay, you and your wife, okay, as guardians of you kids, we're putting forth this new household regulation or regulation for you as kid or as our kids, and you put it on the refrigerator, and you say you are not allowed to go to the movies at all. That is a regulation. If you come back tomorrow and take that off and put another regulation up and says you are allowed to go to the movies all the time, that's still a regulation. It's just a regulation that allows someone to do something. So I just find it interesting how when people talk about regulations, it's only the regulations that are, restrictive and not the ones that kind of create this situation. Those aren't regulations at all.
There are very simple regulations all over. Stoplights are regulations. Stop signs are regulations.
No, hey. Stop lights and stop signs inhibit my ability to drive freely in the way I want to, Will. Fuck other people's safety, man. I should be able to drive the way I want to.
All right, so we do got a caller, so we're going to set this up. Just hold on one. All right, so we should be good. And we got a call from the 770. Call, you're on the air live with LTMB.
Hello?
You gotta turn your volume down on the stream. Hello?
All right.
All right, you can go. Who's this?
Hello?
Who is this caller?
Hey, what's going on, man? Can you hear us?
You got us, man?
Hello?
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I can't hear y'all at all. I don't know what's going on.
This sound like Tony.
You can't hear? Hold on. You know what? Oh, hold up. My bad. Yo, can you hear us now?
Is this?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is this
right.
Tony?
Yeah, it's me.
What's going on, Tony?
I recognize your voice, man.
Yeah, since everybody else was too scared to call you, they just want to argue with you in the comments. I figured I'd call in.
That's how it be sometimes, man.
But yeah, I don't remember who said what. I mean, because y'all had some points I agree with, and of course y'all had some. There's a few things y'all said I didn't agree with, and there were some points somebody's making in the comments that y'all was arguing with them. It's like he's talking about, I guess, don't regulate these companies too much, and it's like, no, it's the fact that they're not regulated enough. It's why the planet is literally falling apart, and we won't be able to support life as we know it. Probably within the next 80 years.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing that even with these regulations in place, things are crumbling. So why would they change if the regulations go away? Like, if you have kids that are bad and they have been following your rules, getting rid of the rules is not going to make them, like, straighten up and, fly right. Mm-hmm. It's illogical.
We have this administration that is trying to roll back clean air provisions, clean water provisions, environmental provisions all over the place. We talked about the nerve gas agent that's in pesticides that's being sprayed in farming communities in California, and it's leading to health conditions. And the whole reason why, I guess the whole reason why it wasn't it wasn't taken off the marketplace, or it wasn't removed from being possible to be used in farming, is because of corruption. Because this CEO of this company paid Donald Trump, paid the inauguration, for his inauguration proceedings, and then Scott Pruitt, while he was the EPA, he was like, you know what? No ban on the pesticides.
Tell us what we're missing as far as our analysis goes. Like, what can be adjusted? What do you disagree with?
Oh, what I disagree with your the position of. I mean, I understand why you put it the way. It's like you said, start from a position of being reasonable, as opposed to starting in a way far off position. Like, well, we need to have socialism. Like you said, well, that's not going to get anywhere. Okay. The thing is that even with capitalism just spring up overnight. It was like a steady, it was a steady push towards it, and it took it took decades, maybe a century before it became capitalism. It wasn't like just all overnight capitalism. The same thing with going towards a socialist system. It's a steady push towards it. It isn't like all of a sudden, boom, socialism. Like people,
what do you think?
We're probably not going to see it in our lifetimes. And even when it does happen, people are not going to realize that, oh, we're in socialism right now. It's not, because it's so gradual.
Yeah. When people gonna wake up one day and be like, God damn it, we in socialism, y'all. So what do you? Because I like personally, like, I have no clue where to start in regards to kind of, I guess, paving a way to that kind of system. Like, what is something that like we can do now that doesn't involve, let's say, I guess, capitulating to capitalistic principles and just making everybody, temporarily comfortable in that system? Like, what is something we can do like that will kind of get that ball rolling? If it's not that,
well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I listen to. Well, what I'm about to say. You can tell that I listen to a lot of Richard Wolff. Probably listen to like all his lectures and he gives his college courses. But just having the worker co-ops seems to be the first start towards that. Having a worker co-op, and the workers, they own a means of production because they have a say in what goes on in the company, as opposed to they got no say. And you literally living your whole life in a dictatorship, but you want your government to be free. Does that make any sense? Does it make any sense to anybody to have somewhere you spend most of your time, you're not free at all because of the dictatorship, right? Because that's what a company is, at least in today's world. As opposed, but your government, you want your government free. And it's like you spend hardly any time in the government. It's like you have very little interaction with the government as a private citizen, I should say. I'm not talking about you joining the military. That's different.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I don't. I mean, look, I don't totally disagree with you. It's just, I understand that you say like it's a far away. You know, it's not like anybody's gonna wake up to it because it's just gonna be something that's done so gradually. I'm not opposed to advocating for like the best system that's out there. You know, I'm not opposed to that. It's just that I see something like Medicare for all, right, that can operate within a capitalistic system. I see tuition-free public colleges and universities. I see a program like that can operate within a capitalistic society. That's what we have right now. So I don't not want to play the long game, but I do have to look at short game too. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's that's where I'm coming from with it.
Yeah, I understand. I understand perfectly. And I mean, I agree with you. Yeah, we need to do something now. We can't just wait around.
Yeah, okay.
But you're just saying that it's like if we're going to approach this situation like we're actually kind of trying to, I guess, transverse into a new economic model, we do have to do specific things to get there and not just, I guess, advocate for a temporary fix. So we have to do something specific that is kind of indicative of that system that will be there when that system comes there, right, or will get here.
Exactly. And we've been doing it for the past 100 years with the almost 100 years with the Social Security, with Medicare. I mean, all the government programs that you're seeing now, we've been doing it. People just don't understand. They don't realize it. But it takes a while to have it fully implemented. That's what I'm saying. It takes some time. Just like capitalism. It took time to move from feudalism to capitalism. It wasn't like just overnight, like all the lords just lost their lands and the kings gave up their crowns. It wasn't like that. It was a slow process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I mean, a lot of people died. There was wars and stuff. People think, they went to the voting ballot and they voted. No, they didn't. They fought and died.
Oh, maybe
The same thing with the labor laws. People fought and died. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, they went to the voting booth and they voted for. No, dude, people died. People literally spilled blood in order to get so we can have Saturdays off.
You opening the doors to actually another discussion, but we have another caller, and I'm gonna comment about that. I'm gonna let that be a surprise. I'm gonna hold on to that one. But you open the door to another discussion.
I'll quickly say to what he said though that he's talking about people fought and died, to change, to advocate for better things. We in a war right now. Most can't pay for health care. You know what I'm saying? Most can't pay for prescription drugs.
I agree.
Most are dying in this war right
Literally,
now.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Might not be in the same way, but people are definitely dying.
But I'll let y'all go get the other caller.
All right, man. Appreciate Tony, calling, man. Appreciate you for breaking that seal, man.
I'm about to say, man, breaking that drought, man.
All right, y'all. Good night.
You too, man. All right, we got a caller from the 818. Caller, you're on the air live with LTMB. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, guys. This is Marcia.
Hey,
Marsha!
How you doing?
Marsha.
Yeah. I just wanted you to know that I'm just being a little oversensitive right now because I'm going to have neurosurgery on Monday.
Oh, really?
And I'm really sad that I won't be around to watch your show for at least a couple of weeks because of the surgery.
Man.
Okay.
Dang.
Yeah. But the nice thing is I did get all the repairs done to my home from the fire I had in April.
Well, that's good.
So at least I'm going into the surgery knowing that's all done.
That's all done. What caused that fire?
It was an electrical short in the surge protector that my TV and cable box were plugged into.
Wow.
And it caught my floor-to-ceiling curtains on fire, and it was a good thing I was home because I smelled the electrical smell.
That could have been bad.
I see. I thought
Yeah.
I thought it was your answer was gonna be like something like I tried to kill a spider with a flamethrower.
No, I'm not afraid of spiders.
Okay.
I love spiders. But yeah, I smelled the smell and I went looking for it and came out my living room and saw the towering inferno. You know, stood there for a second going, huh? And then I called 911. Then I grabbed my fire extinguisher, started yelling for help. My neighbor ran over with his fire extinguisher, and we pretty much had it knocked down, and then the LA Fire Department was there.
Hey, you were prepared. Fire extinguishers come in handy.
Oh, yeah. You know, they did the usual thing. You know, they had to chop everything up to make sure there was no fire anywhere.
Yeah, in the wall. Yeah.
So, but it took 3 months to get it fixed. So there we are.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I'm going to miss everybody while I'm offline, but I'll come back as soon as I can.
How long is the recovery period?
Well, I'm going to be in the hospital for 4 days, so I'll come home Thursday afternoon, and then they're telling me because of the location of where the surgery is being done, I can't bend at the waist for like 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so I may be able to use my little notebook computer when I'm laying down, but I don't know how soon I can sit at my big old desktop.
Right. Well, we will definitely be thinking about you, Marsha.
I know, man. I know.
Wishing you best of luck in the surgery and the recovery.
Well, I specifically wanted you guys to know why I'm not going to be around because I got oversensitive about the comment.
See, and you did the right thing too, because we would have been talking bad about you. Not, you know, if we didn't see you in the chat.
I know, man. We'd be like, "Yo, where's Marsha?"
Exactly.
Yo?
See,
we like, you know what I'm saying? We like people around, even if they may disagree with us on like some minor point. We still like y'all around. If y'all ain't talking no bullshit, we cool.
Yeah, I'd be like, hold up, I ain't seen Marsha in like 2 shows now.
Yo, we would have come out looking for you. We would have found out where you lived at. We would have come look for your behind.
Well, I just want to make sure y'all know I'm not like really bent out of shape and I understand things. I'm just in a really, you know, weird emotional position right now because of the surgery and the house and all that stuff. So
it's all good. No problem whatsoever. We understood what you were saying.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to be clear on that and let you guys know stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my first call to you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And don't
Congratulations.
I know. See, you done messed up now, though.
Now we're gonna be expecting more.
I know.
Once you get, you know, all better and you recover, we are gonna be expecting much more from you.
I kind of do want to hear a word about her recovery too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's right. Well, as my 3 ex-husbands used to say, they loved it when I had laryngitis because I couldn't talk.
3 ex-husbands said that?
Yeah, I got 3.
Yo.
They all said the same thing?
Yo, Marsha be getting them, dog. Dang.
I'm extremely verbal, so, you know.
Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Boy,
I mean,
okay, well, I won't hold you guys up any longer if there's somebody else in the queue, but I'm going to miss y'all while I'm gone. So,
all right. We'll miss you too, Marsha.
Be good to each other.
We will.
Bye.
You have a good night. Happy recovery.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Boy, 3 dudes like tried. I was like, well, wifed her up. Maybe something in between. Yo, Marsha, like, what is this? She doggone high commodity up in here.
The catch.
I'm saying, dog, top shelf. What's that? Monotalk, James.
What's going on, man?
Monotalk, man. Yeah. What's going on, man? Kind of showing up here.
You said you were about to comment on something that Tony,
actually,
Tony said.
yeah. Actually, you kind of hinted at it.
What?
If Tony's still on the phone, or not on the phone, but still actually listening, the whole thing about people having to fight for things, and I think that is a very sticky subject amongst progressives. It seems like if you're on one side of the aisle, let's say I'll use like I'll say like the extreme right. They're always constantly talking about picking up their guns. They're always talking about don't tread on me. They're always talking about the what is it, the tree of liberty or something is, I don't know, drenched with the blood of tyrants. But they always forget it says drenched with the blood of patriots and tyrants, which tells me they ain't ready to die yet. But they're always saying stuff like that. So they understand that maybe they're going to have to fight for what they feel, I guess, is rightful as far as what they want to see the world look like. And those things may not be like good for the rest of us, but at least that they know they're going to have to fight. So I think that's a touchy subject, you know, with the left. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You know, not wanting to kind of step foot in that arena. Like maybe you might have to.
I don't see that the opposer that we had.
He wasn't here.
The one opposition.
I highlighted. That's why I highlighted it. So you can see that. I was like, of course. Of course. So yeah, I mean that kind of explains things.
It makes sense. Yeah.
It makes sense now.
All right. Well, we don't have more calls, so I think we're gonna get. I'm thinking about the weekend. Have no idea what's going on. Let's see. I think okay. So this is the 26th. Is it next Tuesday? No, you know what? I think the next primary is actually on a Thursday. And I forgot what state it is. Yeah, Tennessee on August 2nd. So that is next week. And then after that, it will be 4 states on the next Tuesday: Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, and Washington.
Better watch out though, because
Missouri, that's Cori Bush going up against Lacey Clay.
But you just gotta, watch out for one thing though, because we know there's going to be a country trying to meddle in these, elections.
Yeah, no doubt. And President Trump is very concerned about it. He's very concerned about it. I saw one tweet. It was like, man, you doing too much. You know your supporters don't even believe this, man. He's talking about he's concerned. He's concerned about Russian meddling. Seriously? After you was on the stage with Putin?
You know what? Even beyond that, even outside of his relationship with Putin. You know what I'm saying? Even outside,
I'm just saying it was right a week ago.
Let's see, even that's right. Like even outside of that, like even his other statements. You know what I'm saying? That's like, wait a second, like I thought that was kind of pushing a certain narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not even something we were pushing.
Hold up, we got another call.
We might have another caller.
We got somebody from the 714. Caller, can you hear us?
Yes, aloha, my brothers.
How you doing? Who is this?
On? It's Montauk, James.
Montauk,
what's going on, man?
We called you out, man, because I haven't seen your name in the chat for a while. So I was like, let me holler at him right quick.
Yeah. I'm just doing so much. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a bunch of Greens that heard the call out when Jesse was on Jimmy Dore about 3 months ago, Jesse Ventura. He said, I'd love to run Green. So there's a lot of us, I did a lot of research on it, checked his history, all this other stuff. The guy's pretty well aligned with a lot of the values and the morals that the Greens have. There's a lot of things that are on par with what we're doing. There are some questions, though. When he threw that out there, we're trying to at least start this discussion. So the campaign committee at the national level right now is trying to reach out to him to see what his intentions are. What is his motivation? What does he want to do? Is he going to align with us? Is he going to, I don't know if you guys heard of the CFAR, but would he commit to doing the right things for the party in order to, be a nominee? Me, I've done the research. The party has 300,000 members in all of the United States. Registered Greens, out of 160 million Republicans and Democrats. There's not a lot of us. We could really use the publicity. We could, I mean, not to use him for that, but we could really use a boost because I think the country and the world, in a sense, is starting to catch up with, us, our ecological wisdom, or, we're not tree huggers. We're more like tree humpers. But the thing is we care about each other. We don't take corporate money. We have some people out there like Kenneth Mejia, Rodolfo Cortez, Laura Wells, Constance Gardwell, Constance. Anyway, these Greens that are in positions that won their primaries recently that could get into the House for the first time. We could make history. And from my perspective is if you can get a Green, just one Green, it'll get them to at least look in our direction. And you're scratching the surface of a oligarchic, gigantic two-party monster, right? But at least you can get them to look at the Greens, because our values, I think, are what people need. We're for everything. I mean, a single payer, universal health care, of course, and all that, infrastructure, less wars, less orchestration of wars, fixing relations with everybody out there on the planet that we pissed off that now hate us, and this is why we have a military. But the biggest thing is right now is we actually do have an opportunity to bring somebody aboard that has a lot of subscribers, likes, views, base, fans. And it's not all about the celebrity part. The guy was Jesse Ventura was also a mayor and a governor. He was a Navy SEAL, or actually a frogman. So he's patriotic. And he worked in the entertainment industry. There's a lot of things and accolades you can do. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no. There's nothing wrong with what you said though about using him for his celebrity. There's nothing wrong with what you said about that, because that is what the Green Party needs to do. We agree with the Green Party's platform, and we say all the time, man, I wish it was just about the issues and integrity, the platform, not taking corporate money, and actually advocating for your constituency, actually representing people. I mean, we wish it was all about that matters so much, but it's not. Like, you actually have to play the game, and it is so much popularity is so relevant, like cachet is so relevant. So if you can get somebody that already brings that to the table, if you can get somebody that already has some support, and somebody that does have experience in politics as well, I mean, you would be doing yourself a great service.
Yeah, what James is talking about is visibility, and what you were talking about is visibility, and I think that people are growing to understand that. And I can tell there was a bit of kind of apprehensiveness and hesitation when you said that, James, because that's kind of where we were too. We didn't want to try to get involved in the game of popularity or visibility, but we do need to at least tap into certain individuals who are already visible and tap into the cachet that they already have. And I was, like I said, always was a little reluctant to that, and I can hear the reluctancy in your voice, because you always you don't want to give the appearance of anything gimmicky or false. Right. You know what I'm saying?
It's just that you have to be if we're talking about politics, at some point we have to be realistic, and it's just not always. I mean, it's not going to be just about ideals. It is going to be about celebrity and popularity. You just need the person that can promote that as well as the right, ideals and the right ideology.
And I think the Green Party is going at it in the right way, because, like you said, y'all are doing your homework. You want to see where he stands first. You want to see exactly where he has his feet planted before you go forth, before the Green Party goes forth with some sort of solicitation. And so as long as you go about it the right way, then I think everything will be all good.
You need an earthquake.
It's not like you're going after Beyonce or something.
Right. I mean, again,
I would personally do that myself. That would be a personal thing.
See,
that would be a personal goal.
Wow. Oh, that's funny.
Aim high. Aim high.
Yeah. That is high. That's like all the way up there.
That's like to the moon, Alice, to the moon. Anyway, thank you guys for letting me speak and stuff. And we're just at the precipice. We're at a turning point and on the planet for everybody, and all the craziness that's happening. If we don't have the right people talking about the right topics, like Bernie used to,
right?
Then we're not gonna get it. You know, I just do this because I'm trying to take care of the planet and all its inhabitants. That's my core. But there's so many other people out there that are on that same bus, and I know you guys are for sure. Because we all got kids, man. I want to make sure your kids and my kids and everybody can hang out and play at the same beaches, same rivers, same lakes, breathe the better air, drink better water, the whole 9 yards, get a better wage, have a better livelihood. Because you know what it is, man. It's joy and pain, sunshine and pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all about more joy and less pain, man. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Man,
Thanks,
appreciate
James.
you, man.
Later, bye.
You know, when somebody says those things, like it's all about joy and pain. It's all about like, you know, really working together as a big community. You know, we have small communities, but the whole of the United States is a big community. It's all about making sure that we all have, you know, a fair opportunity, a fair shake in life, and we all have access to healthcare and education and what have you. When somebody says that, like James, when I can hear it in his voice and I can feel that he actually means it, like that, like I feel it in me, you know what I'm saying? But when you hear somebody say the same thing, but you know for a fact they're not actually advocating for that, they say things like, well, healthcare is not a right. I mean, yeah, sure, I want everybody to have healthcare, but it's not a human right. Then it's like, man, how phony can you be, you know?
And he gets some extra points for the Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Oh, yeah, and singing.
Outro. And he sang it.
And he sang it, yeah.
You know
no doubt, man.
There are like 2 songs. I think it's that song and the other one, Before I Let Go. I think like there's probably like 99% of black people, when that song comes on, they will stop what they're doing and straight up dance. That's one of them songs, man.
Man, you said 2, man. There's got to be at least 50 of those.
What? Oh, no. I'm saying those 2 particular. Not
okay.
I'm just saying those 2 particular. They're not all of them.
All right, okay. But yeah. I mean, I don't know how many times or how many conversations me and Mike has had about the Green Party getting, and you know, a very notable figure to run with them, you know, to join the party and be a part of it, or advocate for the same thing.
Yeah, advocate, or even just be a surrogate in some kind of way.
It's like, it's like you need the earth to shake, you know? You need something to like really shake people up. And man, look, you know, we advocated for Jill Stein, no doubt. And I thought she was a great candidate. I still think she was a great candidate, right? But she wasn't really a celebrity, you know? I mean, we can be honest about that. I didn't realistically think that she was going to win. I mean, I don't think anybody really thought that was going to happen. We had a goal in mind. Of course, we always say this. We had ballot access in mind. We had matching federal funds in mind. You know, 5%, get the 5% of the damn vote. And, you know, that's what we had in mind.
Basically, it went beyond voting your conscience.
Yeah, it went well beyond that. We actually had, like,
a strategy.
We had a goal to get to, you know? But we see that, look, it's just a realistic place that, like, if you look at reality, this is where we are in the United States of America in 2018, and it can't just be about what you represent, what you stand for, what you say at a podium. You know, it can't just be about your integrity. It can't be that. You actually have to energize people in a particular type of way. You have to have some kind of clout, some kind of relevancy, some celebrity, something. That's why I was so critical and remain critical of Hillary Clinton running for president in 2016. She already had so much celebrity in 2015. She was a first lady. She was a senator. Everybody knew who the hell Hillary Clinton is, not just in the United States of America, but globally. So there was no valid reason for her to have multiple super PACs. There was no reason for her to have one super PAC. We saw a little-known senator from Vermont run a clean campaign, get small donations, and actually fund his campaign very well. He was actually able to promote his ideas. He was actually able to run ads and travel all across the country and appear at different places. You could do it. And Hillary Clinton, if she was actually about something, she could have done it, and she could have done it better than Bernie Sanders.
Because she had the backing.
She had the backing. She had the clout. She had the name recognition. She had everything working for her.
So she had no reason.
She had no corruption.
Reason, exactly. She had no reason, like, I don't know, to like not run a better campaign because she already had the cachet. Exactly. She already essentially had the red carpet rolled out for her. Yep. So why not, since you already have, I guess, that following, you already have that visibility, that popularity, you're a shoo-in already, you're not going to lose anything by going further to the left. She wasn't going to lose anything. You know what? She wasn't going to lose anything if she talked left. And that's bullshit.
You see, you took my point. Look, I was about to say, look, if she had fake left, if she had fake like she was progressive from the jump and been like, yo, I'm going to play all these people, you know what I'm saying? Once I get in the office, I ain't doing this crap.
It wouldn't have hurt her.
It wouldn't have hurt her.
It would have made her more popular.
Yes. And she would have won.
And people would have probably looked the other way and not even worried about it. You know, well, of course, we would have been like, yo, dog, you said you was going left, yo.
Of course.
No, obviously there would have been some people.
Yeah, like some pushback, like, yo, pushback. Where you at?
Yeah,
where you at? Same way with Barack Obama. Change, hope, all this stuff. We had critical things to say. But still, she was such a bad candidate that she ran on bad ideas, and she wasn't even smart enough to run on good ideas without really like changing who she is.
Yeah, because you could say anything.
You could say anything,
You can say anything.
You know what? I've evolved. Because she evolved on, gay marriage, yeah? Didn't she? She evolved on that, right?
Because, like I guess saying you evolved, it doesn't mean that you're going to work vigorously to kind of like push for those, I guess that agenda,
right?
So
this just highlights what a truly horrific candidate she was.
Because the person who won faked like a mug. You see what I'm saying? The person who won faked like a mug. And anything that I guess he is trying to fulfill is not good. As far as his policies on like immigration, his policies on like the Iran deal, his policies on healthcare, his policies on transgenders, his failed travel ban, which is toothless now, because they had to dumb it down because it was, I guess the judge was like, nah.
Yeah, they kept saying nah.
Kept saying nah. So, like, even the things that he does want to do are not working. So we can eliminate that. But the things that he claimed he would do, like with healthcare, like I'm going to scrap Obamacare and make a better, cheaper alternative.
Yep.
He ran on that. But is he doing that?
No.
So again, he's a great salesman, a great faker.
We always say that.
We always say that.
He's a great snake oil salesman, man. But what he's selling, of course, it's that snake oil, man. It's a horrible product.
Dog, you know what? This man even posed like he was a Christian, dog.
Yes, he did.
Speech at Liberty University. 2 Corinthians. He didn't say 2 Corinthians. Like, he was willing to make a fool of himself to make himself look like he played the part.
Went to a black church. Was like dancing a little bit, moving around. He played the game.
Didn't like Hillary Clinton like do the like she was the Dougie. She was doing the what's the other thing?
She did a dab, man.
The dab. She dabbed. She Dougie. What was the other thing?
Yeah. What did she do? Whip. And Nene.
Oh, that was so bad. Oh no, and we can't forget. We can't forget, like,
where you go? I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
You can't forget how she dropped the mic on the Breakfast Club.
Hot sauce in my bag, swag. Can't forget that, man. Can never forget that. You got hot sauce in your bag? Word. She was a horrible candidate, man. Horrible, man.
Like, she tried to appeal in the most superficial and bad ways. Without thinking that would work, but like
Donald Trump did it better.
Donald Trump did it better. He faked better and won. So she could have faked as well and won.
She did not need the money from the corporate PACs. She did not need the money. She could have ran a clean campaign and still been as corrupt as she is. Just it would have came later while she was in office. You know, one thing about Donald Trump though, I totally missed it when we were covering the I believe when we were covering the whole Russia thing. But actually it happened before that. It was when he was talking with NATO leaders and he was talking about Brexit, and we didn't even show the video. We never even showed the video. But this dude, while he was talking, he was all over the place, right? He was all over the place talking about Brexit is Brexit.
They asked him a specific question.
he was all over the place, right? Then he's talking about, I got properties in Scotland, I think.
My mom was born in Scotland.
Yeah. Then he's like, I got properties in Ireland, and I'm like, hold up. See, this dude. First of all, this dude is stupid because Ireland is not part of the UK. Okay, he was talking about the UK. He was talking about Brexit. Ireland's not part of the damn UK. Northern Ireland is part of the UK. If you say Ireland, it's like go to Ireland and tell them they part of the UK. See what they say.
You know what he's gonna say. I mean, that's what I meant.
But you don't call it Ireland. The Republic of Ireland is not part of the UK. But that's not even where I'm going.
But Brexit is Brexit.
Brexit is Brexit, right? But then he said he tailed off into like protest,
electoral votes,
electoral votes, and how he wiped the floor with Clinton. It was easy. But then he talked about how he found out that he won Wisconsin, and no president has done that. Not even Ronald Reagan. Not even Ronald Reagan won Wisconsin. And see, I didn't even catch it because it's like you can't catch like all the lies this mug tells. But Ronald Reagan won Wisconsin in 80 and in 84. And then once I actually saw it, I was like, I should have known that, because in 84 he eviscerated Walter Mondale. Walter Mondale won one state, Minnesota. He won one state. He got, I think it was 13 electoral votes. I think he won 525 to like 13. He won one state. Reagan won all of them. How the hell didn't I think about that?
That's like Alabama going up against like a middle school intramural football team.
I'm saying, man. And this dude on the podium, at the podium, told a bald-faced lie, man.
And guess what? And
Ronald Reagan didn't win Wisconsin.
And you know
I won it though.
His kind of inability to control his pathological lies actually got him where he is.
Yep.
In the business world and politically, because people don't know how to parcel them out and they just believe them. And the thing is, he's doing this thing where like people are like overloaded with the abundance. So he's hoping that like some will stick. Because I forgot what the number is right now, because as of the end of May, it was up to like 3,200 lies and misstatements. But what is he doing? He is playing the odds. It's kind of like if you take horrible pickup lines and a horrible approach and a horrible strategy to, women, right? You try it 10,000 times. One of them is going to bite.
Oh, no doubt.
And most likely it might be some drunk chick. But you use bad pickup lines and a bad approach 10,000 times, someone is going to bite. So he throws out lies, thousands of them, and some of them stick. Because there's no way people are going to say, damn, all of those are lies. Some of them have to be true. You see what I'm saying? So I think he has this strategy unknowingly where like his inability to control his pathological lying actually helps him, because if he tells 10,000 lies, maybe people will believe 50 of them.
And see, in this time when he was talking about Wisconsin and Reagan not winning it, this time I'm not gonna I guess I don't excuse him anyways, but I'm not gonna apply that to him being dumb, him not being informed.
Oh, that's something specific. That's not something
he said he came to this knowledge. Like, so he learned it. You learned this knowledge. So either you saw it somewhere or somebody told you it, but are you telling me somebody gave you the wrong information that Reagan didn't win Wisconsin either in 80 or in 84? Somebody actually told you that dumb piece of information and you repeated it?
Because that's not something you just like, you just laying in your bed and that just comes to your head. Nah. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that just comes to your head. Like, wait a second.
You had to come across that somewhere.
I won Wisconsin. Reagan didn't.
No.
That's not something you just like come to your head.
No, I don't buy that.
And you know very well, like Trump's lack of knowledge on history and politics. That's not something that's just like kind of sitting there like in a file folder somewhere in his brain.
He didn't pull that out.
So but why would he even go there though if that wasn't even true? So either, like you're right, somebody gave him some misinformation, or he's just purposely lying,
which he's been known to do.
Again, I think it's both. He purposely lies, and he just lies out of just habit.
And something like that is so easily referenced. I mean, like, that's so easily to look up. It's like anybody can correct that. Anybody can go look at who actually won all, in all the states in 1980 and 1984.
You know what else? Because like you said, we didn't play the clip, but you know what else he mentioned? I think that was in that same speech. He was talking about how like the tariffs are working out, and how didn't he mention farmers? He said, did he mention farmers
in that speech? I don't know.
I can't remember whether he mentioned farmers in that speech, but he did say all that the economy is great and the tariffs are working out. I was like, wait a second. What did we talk about last show? The $12 billion that are now being allocated to helping farmers during this tariff period, because the tariffs have affected their ability to put their products in the market, the global
marketplace. Yeah.
So they're suffering right now. So there's a $12 billion aid package that
yes,
going to bestow upon farmers.
Yes,
but he's saying that the tariffs are working and that the economy is great.
So who's it working for? You have to like be specific on who are the tariffs working for, because the farmers, like you said, they're not able to sell their products in the global marketplace. So you slap tariffs on different countries. All right. Those countries then in turn slap tariffs on us, on pork, on soybeans, and now farmers can't, they can't be successful. They can't get that income, right? So the tariffs are successful. And again, you know what? It's funny too. China, I think we saw this tweet too that's talking about China. China's the one that's conducting these retaliatory tariffs, placing tariffs on soybeans. And it's like, hold on. All right, so Trump is placing tariffs on China, who owns a lot of our debt, right? Farmers can't make a living, really. I mean, they're being negatively impacted by the tariffs. So then you have to subside them, right? You have to initiate a welfare program for farmers.
So we are paying. Wow,
that's crazy.
Wow.
So we're getting like, damn. It's like
we're getting fucked two ways.
Yes. China owns our debt. And
we have to.
And they're slapping tariffs on us.
Yeah, exactly. They're slapping tariffs on us. Like, we're in debt to them. Now we have to come up with money out of thin air.
Yep. Just to help these farmers along the way because of the problem we made.
Again, if anybody's winning right now, if anybody made the proper checkmate, or check, I won't say check. It's not. I won't say checkmate yet.
Nah, yeah.
But if anybody's in that position, in the check position right now, it's China.
Yo, ask these farmers if we're winning. Ask these farmers if we're winning. Ask these farmers if the welfare that they may soon be receiving
makes them
feels
feel
like
good.
Yeah, makes them feel like they're hashtag winning.
See, that's the thing. Like, all you have to do is. They've done that for a long time, though. Make people feel like they're winning. But I'm telling you, man, like, I don't think it's as easy to do that nowadays. Like, before 100 years ago, people's access to information was down. So this whole idea of selling this, oh, our economy's doing great. Oh, like, yeah, we got the immigrants out and now all the jobs are going to go to you. Or like, it's these people that's fucking everything up. Like, these are the reason why, you know, you're not doing good. It's these other people. You know, it's
immigrants.
It's immigrants.
It's
It's black
people.
people. It's this. It's that. It's easier to like kind of put propaganda out there because everything was more controlled. Everybody didn't have access to media 100 years ago.
Right.
50, 60 years ago. It wasn't like that. Not to say it wasn't available, but it was easier to sell that kind of propaganda.
Because it was harder to see what another part of the country was doing.
Another part of the world as well. And so, like, I'm not so sure, like you said, these farmers are going to buy what Trump is selling. You know what I'm saying? Because they can see the consequences of that. Like, they can feel it. And they can see why it happened.
I saw that the United States, Trump, and the I believe is it the president of the European Union. I believe they were meeting, and they came to some agreement to back off of some of the tariffs. I believe the tariffs on steel and iron.
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
I believe the tariffs on steel and I believe iron are still in place, but I believe the EU is going to be buying more soybeans from us. They're gonna be buying more soybeans because who's not? Who's not? China, right? Okay.
And China is like, I guess the world, like that was like they were number one consumers.
Yeah. So it's like, it's good that they came to an arrangement where some of these tariffs are not going to be applied back and forth, you know, in both ways. But what would make China make a similar deal? What would make China be like, you know what? No mas. Oh, US, you're too tough, man. I own so much of your debt. Still don't feel like I'm in charge. What in the world would make China back off of these tariffs? I could be wrong. We may get to a point where it's like China comes to the table and is like, yo, you know, we gotta do something, you know? I don't know. I just don't see it. I just don't see it coming. I just don't see it coming. Why would they do it? I can't find the wisdom in that.
Like I said, I don't know, man. Like I said, maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
Maybe there is
some long range.
Maybe Trump wins the trade war.
Yeah, again, what are the consequences? What's going to happen at the end of the day? That's all I'm saying. Maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel that we don't know about, man. So
I just can't see it. I just can't see it right now. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna get up out of here, man. It's been a long show.
What, man?
What's up, man? I thought you bought me for a reason.
Oh no. It's so foggy, dog.
Nah, but yeah, we're gonna get up out of here, and you know, hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. You know, like I said, I don't know what's going on this weekend. Next Thursday,
do we ever?
Yeah, we never do. Next Thursday, I know will be the primary in Tennessee. I don't know if I have anybody off the top of my head that, you know, we should be looking at in that state. Do you? Not off the top of my head.
Do my research.
Yeah, we'll have to look. But let's see. This weekend, like I said, I don't know what's going on. Again, I'll be looking forward to the 3rd episode of Who Is America. I'm looking for you, Sarah Palin. I'm watching.
I think they saving that one.
You know they are.
You say they saving that one.
You know they are.
You know they saving that one.
You got to see every single, and I want to see all the episodes anyway, but still. So first episode, man, they got all these conservative lawmakers advocating for preschoolers to have guns in school. Second episode, they got a current state representative to resign from his job because of the foolishness that he was doing in front of a camera. What's the 3rd episode, man?
Because each of them are becoming more, and you know how, you know, they're very smart in regard to how they set these things up. They're trying to set up some sort of arc. So obviously they have to probably put a good episode to be the premiere episode, which that was a good one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But you know how the like, I guess when you're talking about the arc of seasons go,
right?
They tend to get like a little more climactic.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? And you know they saving the best for last too.
You know they are, man. It's got to have a good last performance, man, like a last call or whatever. And L-Train, I think our pilot is supposed to be on the show. I'm pretty sure I saw his name. So we got a couple doozies coming up. You know they're gonna get got. You know they are, man. So we'll be watching out for it, man. Appreciate everybody that joined us for this broadcast. We always appreciate that. Appreciate everybody that called in. Tony, Marsha, and we hope you get well soon. We'll be thinking about you. You have a long recovery, but we hope that you get through that recovery just fine, and you'll be back to join us in just a little while. And Man to Talk with James, man, appreciate you calling in as well. Appreciate all the comments in the chat. Appreciate all of our patrons on patreon.com, the lifeblood of LTMB. I guess I dropped the B for something. I don't know what. Let the madness. I don't know what happened there. Now I don't know if Sarah Palin will be last. We don't know the schedule. We don't know the schedule of Who Is America. We're just assuming, just based on who Sarah Palin is. She's likely to be
and
last.
She's the only one to try to get in front of this.
So hard.
So hard. Yeah.
Like
her public statement was very long.
Yeah,
you can tell she was disgusted. So she was trying to get ahead of it, but they ain't gonna stop it from coming. So
some things happen when she gets in front of a camera. That Katie Couric interview. And then when she incorrectly talked about the responsibilities of a vice president, it's just, come on, man. You know it's coming. Man.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But anyway, again, appreciate everybody that supports us in a bunch of different ways. Whether you share our stuff, you like it, you comment, you watch our videos, you watch our live streams, we appreciate it all. So we'll be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and let the madness begin. Everybody, peace out, have a good weekend.